There are a lot of rivalries in high school athletics, and while this one has only been around for 8 years, there's none more fierce than what we have here tonight at Hamilton Southeastern. It is the Mudsock game as the Hamilton Southeastern Royals welcome the Fishers Tigers, and we're proud to bring it to you here on Audio Sports Online. My name's Brian Scott. I'm going to be joined by Caleb Yarling here in just a little bit. Both teams are looking for what has been a big trophy between these two schools. It is the Mudsock. They'll play for the Mudsock trophy as both schools see if who can get the better of each other as the year progresses, and they get that much coveted Mudsock trophy at the end of the year. But for tonight, it's on the football field, and the 12th-ranked Hamilton Southeastern Royals welcome the 7th-ranked Fishers Tigers. Fishers comes in with a record of 2-1. They're coming off of a 16-13 victory last week against Noblesville in what was a pretty tight game. Eventually, it was Fishers coming away with the victory. Their junior quarterback, Zach Eaton, only threw for 60 yards and was picked off twice, but it is not the quarterback that has head coach Scott May worried. It is the running back, senior Maurice Campbell. He rushed for 104 yards and one touchdown, and Campbell has rushed for 100 yards in each of the first 3 games. For Hamilton Southeastern, they're coming off of a very disappointing loss last week to the Avon Orioles. While the score might have shown that Hamilton Southeastern trailed by only 7 points early in that fourth quarter, they would eventually lose 31-10. And what Coach Scott May said was a pretty resounding win by Avon. Avon came out and controlled the line of scrimmage. And when you take a look at the time of possession between the two schools, Avon had a 2-1 superiority in time of possession. It would only be Tyler Janney finally able to get a lone touchdown in that game. But what did Hamilton Southeastern in was 4 turnovers, and that led to 3 touchdowns by the Avon Orioles. I bring in Caleb Yarling, as he is a Hamilton Southeastern student and an avid Hamilton Southeastern supporter. And Caleb, you were with me in Avon last week, and you watched what a lot of us thought was a very uncharacteristic Hamilton Southeastern team take the field last Friday night.
I definitely agree with that statement. We've had a lot of strong teams in the past, but let me tell you something. It seemed like they had like a separate team put on the different identity, because that was not HSE that I expected to go into the season. Getting stomped 31-10 against a very strong Avon Orioles team who's got that fantastic quarterback, the junior. And let me tell you something. This is a great game. I love these games. I've been coming to every single one since I was a little kid. Since this rivalry started about 6 years ago, and the atmosphere here is electric. We heard word about a little while ago, if I remember correctly, that there was 6,885 tickets that were sold, so it's sold out. But they're going to say here at this little football stadium, they estimate around 9,000 people are coming out to see a football game, and I think the RVs in the parking lot account for probably 2/3 of that.
Well, this game was sold out before the gates even opened tonight. This game was sold out, according to Hamilton Southeastern officials, yesterday. They had a bit of a walk-up crowd, and they are fully expecting over 9,000 people here tonight, maybe even more. The stands will be packed. They've got fans lined up all around the track here at Royal Stadium, Hamilton Southeastern High School, for what is now the 8th year of this rivalry. So far, Hamilton Southeastern, they hold the record in this as far as wins, 7 wins to 4 losses. Of course, you got to take into account Fishers Tigers. They do have a state championship to their resume. But this has always been a big matchup. It has always been a very fierce rivalry. And when we take a look at some of the big rivalries in the Hoosier Crossroads Conference, many people might look over to the west side of the town where Avon and Brownsburg, they play tonight. But there's probably no fiercer rivalry in the state, in at least the central part of the state, than this one right here as Hamilton Southeastern takes on Fishers tonight here on Audio Sports Online. Both these teams looking for a little bit of offense. Southeastern, after last week, a very uncharacteristic offensive problems during that game. 4 turnovers. They put the ball on the ground repeatedly. Tyler Janney threw 1 interception. And Hamilton Southeastern's coming into this game only scoring about 18 points a game. Head coach Scott May's defense, well, another strong point. They're limiting most opponents to about 15 points or so a game. Last week, that game was tight until the fourth quarter when Avon scored 2 touchdowns there in the fourth quarter to make it a 31-10 game. But it has been the defense that Coach Scott May has been trying to rely on while he gets his offense on track. Hamilton Southeastern comes in rushing the ball for a little over 162 yards a game and throwing it for 127 yards a game. So not a lot of offense. They're going to try to rely heavily on Aaron Matteo running the football. For head coach Rick Wimmer's Fishers Tigers, well, it's the same story. They haven't been putting up a whole lot of points, a little bit better than Southeastern, a little over 23 points a game, but they have been giving up almost 20 points a game. They will rely on their big senior running back, Maurice Campbell, who is averaging over 134 yards a game, while the Tigers themselves rushing, they do a good job running the football. That's what they'll try to do first and foremost. They're averaging over 140 yards a game. They're only throwing the ball for 120 yards a game, as quarterback Zach Eaton has yards per game of about 120.3. So it'll really be how well does this Hamilton Southeastern defense stack up against the Fishers running attack.
I think one of the good things that HSC will be able to see is they already know what the game plan is going in. They're going to pound it to Maurice Campbell, who's obviously done a great job of running the ball. But I think we'll be able to see the front line begin to finally make its impact that it really hasn't done all season long. There really hasn't been many rushes to the quarterback, and I think this will be the time when the defensive line steps up its game and stops the run. You know, they'll be able to stack all their chips, if you will, against the run of this Fishers team.
Head coach Scott May told me yesterday that this was a beat-up team. It was a very physical game at Avon, and they are licking their wounds, so to speak, and that in some ways he didn't even know until game time who might be the starting 11 on each side of the ball that he trots out on the field here tonight. For head coach Rick Wimmer of the Fishers Tigers, well, if you're wanting to know what to do, again, stop the run. But the Tigers will throw in quite a few different formations. They'll run an I set. They will go spread at times, and at times they'll go double tight end tights. So you really never know what you're going to get from the Tigers, but it's quite obvious they're going to heavily rely on that 5'10", 172 senior running back, Maurice Campbell. Zach Eaton, he's a junior. He's getting his first taste this year, and right now he's going to be looking to take advantage of possibly some of the weaknesses that Fisher saw, especially the success Avon had throwing the ball, medium routes, especially over the middle. That was something Southeastern was very, very vulnerable with last week.
Definitely so. Obviously, they had probably the best quarterback in the Hoosier Crossroads Conference, easily what could be Central Indiana, period. And one of the it's difficult about HSEs because they had a really fantastic game. They shut out North Central. I know North Central's not as good of a team this year, but still, when they have to bounce back from a loss, which they lost the first game against Carmel 14-7, they bounced back with a fantastic win. And let's be honest, maybe twice is the charm here, and they can come back and beat this Fishers team based upon the looks of their student section, is pumped up and ready for game time.
One of the things Coach Scott May is going to want to do is get that ball out of Tyler Janey's hands a little bit quicker this week. Last week, Avon put a lot of pressure on the youngster, and when you take a look at the passing yardage, again, he threw for 130 yards, but he had a lot of difficulties getting that ball where he wanted to go. Only one pass completed to Chris Ford. He had a couple of passes to tight end Kyle Schrank and a couple of passes to Greg Miller, but was really hairy throughout that entire game, having to get rid of the ball quite often before Tyler Janey wanted to, and also was forced out of the pocket quite often. So a lot of incompletions. Only 8 completions on 21 attempts for Tyler Janey last week for 130 yards, and he did throw 1 interception. But first and foremost, Coach Scott May says they have to cut down on the turnovers. Turnovers were a killer last week, and when you looked at the Royals going into the fourth quarter, trailed Avon by only a touchdown. They had plenty of chances, a lot of missed opportunities, and Coach Scott May wants to limit the turnovers and give his team a better chance to win tonight against Fishers.
I think it doesn't help the fact, though, that they lost their starting right guard for a month, Jeremy Wolfler, and they're bringing in, obviously they have a couple options. Behind him, they include people like Caleb Clayton and Sam Garvin. This will be interesting because of the fact of losing their starting right guard. He's a big dude. How will that impact, how much easier will it make for Fishers to, pressure Tyler Janey, as you said earlier? One of the issues with this HSE team, I think, has been communication amongst themselves. There's been a lot of miscues I've kind of noticed over these first 4 games. And as bad as turnovers are, they've also done, every time they've seemed to have a good play, especially last week against Avon, they had a huge penalty counted against them. They got to limit the penalties here, especially against this HSC crowd, especially against this Fishers team, and the Fishers crowd will make them very aware that they had a penalty called on them.
Caleb mentioned there is a crowd here tonight. We told you right at the top of the show that this one is sold out. You look across, and, of course, looking at the camera, you can see the sea of red on that visiting sideline. What you don't see is the sea of blue on this side. We've already felt the press box rocking and rolling here, and that was 35 minutes before kickoff. It will be a loud crowd. It is definitely fall here in central Indiana. After our first couple of weeks of warm, muggy temperatures tonight, it is cool. Temperatures are in the 50s. They could be diving toward the upper 40s by the time this game is over with. The wind, it's blowing from left to right as you look on the monitors, so it is going to be a hindrance to whatever team is going into the win as we get ready for football action here tonight, as the captains are getting ready to go to the midfield and for the coin toss. As we mentioned, Fishers comes in ranked 7th in Class 6A. They defeated Noblesville last week 16-13. The head coach of the Tigers, Rick Wimmer. He is the only football coach the Fishers Tigers has ever known, and he's 65-32 in his 9th year at Fishers. He's also 229-115 in his 32nd year overall. The head coach of the Royals, Scott May, 66-18 at his 8th year at Hamilton Southeastern, and 69-37 overall. These two teams last year, well, it was a Fishers whomping, as they might say, 51-31 against Hamilton Southeastern, and it should be a very interesting matchup. Can Hamilton Southeastern rebound from last week, a very, very disappointing game, and as Coach Scott May said, not a whole lot went right on either side of the ball. Can they bounce back and play a very, very tough Fishers team? Coin toss has been made. Southeastern won the toss, and they have deferred. The Tigers will have the ball to begin this football game. So we're glad you could join us tonight for Hamilton Southeastern football on Audio Sports Online. Again, my name is Brian Scott. I'm joined by Caleb Yarling, and we're about ready to get this football game underway. So sit back, relax. Hope you enjoyed tonight's game here on Audio Sports Online. Again, it will be the Tigers with the football to begin this contest, and it is going to be really the 6'1", 192 junior Zach Eaton who will be in charge of this offense. He comes into tonight's game again throwing for 361 yards, only 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. This is a Tiger team that wants to run the ball, and Maurice Campbell, as I mentioned, he has 403 yards on the season and 6 touchdowns. As we're ready for football here, getting ready to put a foot into it is Brady Hoffman. Back deep is R.J. Potts and Roberto Rodriguez for the Fishers Tigers. As we get set for football, Hoffman puts a foot into it. He'll kick it deep, and it'll be taken at about the 3 by Potts. Potts straight up the middle to the 20, 25, to the 30, and he will barrel all the way down to the 34 on a fine return by R.J. Potts. Let's give you the Fishers Tigers offensive unit across the offensive line. Lucas Skurdzert, Titus Martin, Matt Halfley, Gavin LaFoon, and Chase Bowser. The tight end, Gino Castellani, Evan Long, and Noah Rogers are the wideouts. And when they run an I-back set, Mason Davis will be the fullback. Maurice Campbell, the tailback, and the 6'1", 192 junior Zach Eaton is the quarterback. But they'll start in a single tight end or a single tailback set from their own 35-yard line for the first play from scrimmage. They'll have 2 wideouts to the near side. And now they'll bring the H-back in motion, but this is the give to Campbell, and he will barrel right up the middle for a gain of about 5 yards on the play before he is brought down. Looked like it was tackled there by Colin Miller, the weak side linebacker for the Royals.
Looks like HSC did about as good of a job as they can containing a guy who rushes for over 100 yards a game. 5 yards, it's not great, but hey, at this stage of the game, just let him know that if he's coming straight to the line that he can't go that much further.
It'll be 2nd and 5 for the Tigers. The Royals with a 3-4 look. And once again, Eaton back, quick stop, fires over the right side, pass is complete. Over on the far side to Evan Long, a 6', 172-pound senior. But he looks like he's going to be shy of the first down by about a yard. It'll bring up 3rd and 1. Quickly, the Royals defense. Across the defensive front, Caleb Clayton, Casey Hayes, and Bradley Murphy. The linebackers are Colin Miller, Ryan Clements, Justin Voskel, and Andrew Notar Donato. The corners are Matt White and Ryan Brown. And the safeties are David Herman and Brock Burns. Big 3rd down here for the Southeastern defense as the Tigers head to the line of scrimmage on this 3rd down and 1 from their own 44-yard line. Eaton will keep it himself, and he will get about 2 yards on the play, about 1.5 yards, and he will move the chains for the Tigers, and it'll be 1st and 10 for Fishers.
Good opening drive so far for the Fishers Tigers, just keeping the ball moving. One of the strengths about HSE, though, is obviously their defensive secondary. That first game, a gentleman by the name of David Herman had an interception in the end zone and a fumble recovery in the end zone that stopped 2 touchdowns from Carmel. Maybe he can repeat his performance tonight against the Fisher squad.
1st and 10 Tigers from their own 46-yard line. Just underway here at Royal Stadium at Hamilton Southeastern High School is the offset eye to the right. They'll give to Campbell, and Campbell will gain little. A penalty flag comes flying in. Royal said they came away with the football, but we'll check what the penalty flag is as they spot the ball for no gain. And we'll have a 5-yard face mask against Southeastern. So after stopping Campbell at the line of scrimmage, Southeastern's going to be hit with a 5-yard face mask penalty to give the Tigers 1st and 5 in Royal territory at their own 49 at the Royal 49-yard line.
Not a good way to start this second offense. Not a good way to start this second set of downs. As I said, those penalties can come back to bite them, just like they did last week.
Noah Rogers will go to the far side of the field. Simeon Foster and Evan Long to the near side. Campbell will be the lone back on this 1st and 5 from the Royal 49-yard line. Zach Eaton will give it to Campbell. Campbell finds some room, but another penalty flag comes flying in as Campbell would have enough for the first down. The penalty flag looks like it's going to push the Tigers back.
Think it's a holding?
See what the penalty flag is as Campbell gained about 10, and it is a hold against the Tigers. So after the 5-yard penalty against Southeastern for the face mask, a good run by Campbell is going to be nullified on the holding penalty, and that'll push Fishers back into their own territory after the 10-yard penalty.
Well, for once, it wasn't a penalty called against HSC, but obviously Fishers, you cannot make dumb mistakes. This running back's going to be great. You can't hold the offensive lineman. It's going to negate every single offensive run play that this guy has up his sleeve.
They'll move the ball back to the Tiger 40-yard line. That'll bring up 1st and 16 for Fishers. Clock moving as we approach 10 minutes left to go in this first quarter. As Zach Eaton, this will be the first time he works out of the gun. Royals will show blitz. They'll bring it off the end, and a nice play by Eaton. He will find, just running down the scene, Simeon Foster for a pickup of about 7 yards on the play as the Tigers picked up the blitz nicely, and Simeon just released off the line, and Eaton found him for a nice little gain to make it 2nd and 8.
HSC seems to be doing something that they should not be doing right now, and that's letting the pass game for Fishers begin to get comfortable. Good things don't happen when your passing game becomes wide open like that.
Eaton will stay out of the shotgun with a 3-wide look to the near side. Back to pass. He will dump it off here to the near side. This is Jermaine Huddleston, and he will not go anywhere as Ryan Brown, a 6', 170-pound junior corner, sniffed that play out well, and he's going to drop Huddleston for a loss back to the Tiger 42-yard line. That'll bring up 3rd and long for Fishers.
Great penetration by the Royals defense. Great sight by the defense. You cannot complain if you're Scott May, head coach of the Hamilton Southeastern Royals, and not defensive execution. Now you're looking at about a 3rd and 14 here. Should be interesting. Do they trust the legs of Maurice Campbell, or do they let their passing game, who's been surprisingly good so far, let it go at it again?
Evan Long and Simeon Foster will go out to the far side of the field with Noah Rogers to the near side. Campbell will fly Eaton to his right out of the gun. They'll bring a man in motion and overload the right side. Eaton getting flush. Pressure comes from behind, and he will throw this ball away as Justin Voskel, the inside linebacker, was applying the pressure. And after the Tigers managed to get into Royal territory due to a penalty pushes the Tigers back, and now they are forced to bring in Anthony Beck to punt this ball away, as it looks like Chris Ford and David Herman will drop back.
Looks obviously one step forward for these Fishers Tigers, 2 steps backward. Let's see what the HSE offense does with the fast Chris Ford back there ready to receive the punt.
Ford come up, and now he drops back to have twin safeties back there with Herman, as Beck is ready to punt this ball away. High snap, and this is Josh Lloyd, a beautiful punt, and Ford will take it at his 15 and mishandles it, and falling on the football, coming down, Ford did not touch the football. So a break for Hamilton Southeastern as Ford does not touch it. It was recovered by Fisher's Colton Thomas, but since Ford never touched the football, it will remain Hamilton Southeastern's football, and they will spot the ball back near the 17-yard line, 1st and 10 for Hamilton Southeastern. So the Royals dodge a bullet on the punt.
Never thought I'd say that you'd be lucky to start at the 17-yard line, but after that play of an almost fumble, yeah, I'll gladly take that over a Fishers on your own 17-yard line.
Tyler Janey will bring the offense out. He has Aaron Matteo back with him to his right as the Royals look with a 3-wide receiver look with Chris Ford in motion. They give us to Matteo. It's a flea flicker. Penalty flag down. They're firing deep, and the pass is complete. The pass is complete. That is Greg Miller, but a penalty flag is going to bring this one way back, as there's an illegal shift by the Royals is on the flea flicker. They had too many men moving. Janey arguing with the official, and Chris Ford is back there as well. Head coach Scott May wanting to get an explanation, and now Tyler Janey will come and explain it to him. But the Royals, on 1st and 10, they go for the flea flicker, and the penalty flag will negate a big play as Janey had hit Greg Miller on the flea flicker down the middle of the field.
Wow, but let me tell you something. Just like you, I expected the passing games in this game here against Fishers Nation to be non-existent, and so far we've seen a fantastic passing play by HSE. Unfortunately, it was called back because of an illegal shift. But then Fishers has 2 really nice kind of just moving the chain passes. So let's see here if HSE is going to try passing again.
This time Jamie's going to bend under center with Aaron Matteo, the single tailback. They'll bring Kyle Schrank into motion. We'll give you the Royals offense in a second. And Janey falls, but he's able to get the ball to Matteo, as Janey might have been stepped on by big center Ty Scholl. Let's give you quickly the Royals offense. Across the offensive line, Ashman Lucas Lehner, Ty Scholl, Chase Wilson, and Sam Garvin. The tight end is Kyle Schrank. The wideouts are Chris Ford and Will Codre. The fullback is Alec Jessup getting the start tonight. Aaron Matteo is the tailback, and Tyler Janey is the quarterback on this 2nd down and 15 from the Royals 7-yard line. 7:23 left to go, opening quarter. Royals' first drive of the football game in a scoreless tie. Janey will bend under center once again. Matteo about 6 yards back. Janey, play action pass, looks, fires over the left side. Will Coudray with the catch. He'll be pushed out of bounds on the far side by Jeremy Chin, and he's going to be very close. He'll pick up about 10 yards on the play, down to about up to the 19-yard line, but he'll bring up 3rd down and about 4 for Southeastern.
Yet again, great execution by this offense that we expected to see a lot of the run from here, but I guess these Fishers defense is getting a little tripped up here.
Chris Ford is the wide out to the near side as they'll bring tight end over to the right side. High backfield behind Janey. Janey, hard count. He'll give it to Matteo. Matteo finds some room on the right side, and he'll be very close. And it looks like he will have just enough for the 1st down for Hamilton Southeastern as they will move the chains. Quickly for the Tigers, they will run a 4-3 defense. Across the defensive line, Joel Wilcox, Stephen Chikari, Trevin Run, Sean Taylor. The linebackers, Nick Farrell, Trent Nielsen, and Luke Harbison. The corners are Jeremy Chin and Josh Lloyd, and the safeties, Michael Kinder and R.J. Potts. 1st and 10, Hamilton Southeastern from their own 24-yard line. 3 wideouts, 2 to the near side. Janey bends under center. as Matteo is the lone tailback. Janey rolls out to the near side, looks, now he'll keep it, looks for some room, won't find a whole lot. Is coming up to make the tackle was the middle linebacker, Trent Nielsen, a 5'10", 198-pound junior. And Tyler might get a yard or two out of that at most. It'll be at 2nd and 8.
Looks like he had interesting execution. Looks like what happened is, at least to me, that he tried to juke him out, but he juked himself out of his own shoes there. Let's see maybe if they're going to try the run here with Matteo.
Coudray and Ford over to the far side with Ford working out of the slot. Greg Miller is the wide out to the near side. As Janey works out of the gun with Matteo to his right. Looks over a 4 down front. And the give is to Matteo, and he bursts through the line to the 40, to the 45-50, and into Tiger territory as Josh Lord makes the tackle. Matteo kind of lost at the line of scrimmage, and all of a sudden he burst into the second level of defense. A big gain for the junior into Tiger territory at the 45-yard line.
Where in the world did he come from? I'm like, all right, so there wasn't much gain, and then like a magician, he comes out of nowhere on that one. Great play by Aaron Matteo.
Again, Coudray and Ford to the far side with Ford working the slot. Miller to the near side. Janey will remain in the gun. Matteo to his right. 1st and 10 from the 45, and here is Matteo, and this time he's not going to find any room whatsoever. Sean Taylor, the big 6'3", 202-pound junior, made penetration, was the first to hit before the rest of the Tigers defense could bring Aaron down for a 1-yard loss back to the Tiger 46-yard line to bring up 2nd and 11. Fast-moving first quarter, 5:13 remains with the clock running in a scoreless game. Greg Miller to the far side of the field. Will Coudray to the near side, and Chris Ford once again, he works the slot to the left side. Tyler Janey will work out of the gun. Aaron Matteo to his left. Janey will keep it and go to the left side. Good read, and he is clobbered down by Josh Lloyd. Good read by Tyler Janey as he had a little bit of a read option there. Saw that the defender was coming after Matteo, brought the ball back out, found some room over to the left side, and picked up about 7 yards on the play down to the Tiger 39-yard line.
Great vision here. Maybe if you're Fishers, you're beginning to get a little bit nervous. You thought you were going to have an easy time because the starting right guard for the Royals is out. Let's see what HSC is going to do here on 3rd down.
3rd and 4 for the Royals, at the Tiger 39-yard line. Janey with a long count. Tigers show blitz. They come up the middle and trying to get it out to the left side to Chris Ford. A nice play coming in to shoot across was the defensive end Joel Wilcox. Might have got a fingertip on that football, and that'll bring up 4th down for Hamilton Southeastern, and at a spot where
it's kind of difficult to tell right now. I saw the kicker kind of.
They actually said that ball was complete, so they're going to give him 2 yards on the play. So they said Ford did manage to bring that down, but it's going to be 4th down and 2. Too far for a field goal. Coach May will leave the offense on the field. Janey will work under center. Tyler drops back, penalty flag on the play. They fire over to the near side. Pass is incomplete. Let's check out the penalty. The pass was intended for Chris Ford.
Just a little outside the reach of Chris Ford here.
Illegal procedure against the Royals. That will be declined, and the Tigers will take over on downs after Southeastern manages to move the ball out from deep in their own territory. The drive will stall, and the Tigers will have the football 1st and 10 from their own 37-yard line with 4 minutes and 3 seconds left in this opening quarter of play in a scoreless game. I'm Brian Scott. I'm joined by Caleb Yarling. The Mudsock game here at Royal Stadium at Hamilton Southeastern High School, or I should say IU Health Field, as Zach Eaton will bring the Tiger offense back out onto the field. They had a little bit of success before penalties got the best of them on their first drive of the game. They'll start this drive with 3 wideouts. Eaton will work out of the gun. He'll give it to Campbell. Campbell, nothing doing, as he is going to be brought down. I believe Bradley Murphy might have come across and made the tackle for a loss of about 2-3 yards on the play back to the Tiger 35-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 12.
Great tackle on the play by B. Murph. Again, this HSC defense is doing what they were supposed to do all season, and that's keep this team in the game, and they've really done a great job of that so far.
Noah Rogers and Simeon Foster to the near side. That's Foster working out of the slot. Evan Long is the wide out to the far side. Eaton drops back, looks, fires, has his man. That is Noah Rogers, and Rogers will have a pickup of about 9 yards on the play up to the 44-yard line. And once again, the Royals look to stop the Tigers here on a big 3rd down and about 4.
The interesting thing is Maurice Campbell hasn't been as effective as we thought he was going to be. The question is right now, do you trust his legs and give him one last chance? But based upon the offensive set right now, I don't think that's going to be the case at all.
Mark it 3rd and 3 at the Tiger 49-yard line. Royals show blitz. They come up the middle. They give it to Campbell, and Campbell with some nice running. He ran out of the tackle of Ryan Brown, and enough to give the Tigers a 1st down at the Fishers 49-yard line with 2 minutes and 35 seconds left to go in this very fast-moving first quarter of a scoreless game.
Hopefully we can see some kind of offense here. I mean, it's pretty hard to believe that there's been none so far, and we're about 2 minutes away from just from one quarter of the game being over. So let's see here what'll happen.
Well, we expected the Tigers to run the football. That's going to make it for a fast-moving game. We expected to see the Royals maybe run a little bit more. They came out throwing. Eaton drops back, eludes pressure. Another one comes, and going down on the play is Zach Eaton is coming in to make the tackle for Hamilton Southeastern. Was Tiger Guillory. Initial pressure, I believe, by Colin Miller, and a penalty flag is, I believe, going to add a little insult to injury. It's a personal foul, face mask, though, against Southeastern. So a big defensive play as the Royals get the sack is going to be negated by a personal foul face mask penalty, something that head coach Scott May looking for an explanation. That'll move the ball all the way down to the Royals' 44-yard line. It's not an automatic 1st down, but it will be 1st and 3 for Fishers.
Bradley Murphy, destroyer of worlds, what should have been a sack, and then a huge disruption in the backfield. Let's see if he can do it again.
2 wideouts to the near side as Eaton will go under center. He'll give it to Campbell. Campbell will run right over the left side over Matt Halfley and Titus Martin. He won't get a whole lot, maybe a yard and a half. It'll bring up 2nd down and about a yard from the Royal 42-yard line.
Again, 2nd down. You thought, well, again, this is exactly what I warned about in the pregame show. If you're HSE, you can't make silly errors, and there's been multiple silly errors that have cost them huge opportunities at, maybe even starting a new set of downs for these Royals.
Zach Eaton bends under his center, Matt Halfley, and he will give it to Campbell. Campbell will run right over the center and rumble for about a good 8 yards down to the Royal. They'll spot the ball at about the 32-yard line, and the chains do move for the Tigers. 1st and 10 from Southeastern's 32-yard line as the clock stops while they move the chains. With 1:24 left to go in this opening period, a scoreless game here from Hamilton Southeastern as the 12th-ranked Royals take on the 7th-ranked Tigers, and it's Fishers with the ball and moving. Eaton once again will bend under center. Campbell has been running effectively on this drive. Tight end left. 2 wideouts. As Eaton looks over, he'll snap the ball, give it to Campbell. Campbell with some room around the right side to the hole, 20 to the 10, and he will rumble in from 32 yards out as Maurice Campbell was pretty much all the offense the Tigers needed on that drive as he rumbles in from 32 yards out, and the first score in this Mudsock game belonged to the Tigers on a Maurice Campbell 32-yard touchdown run.
Like I said, I expect to see some kind of offense here before the end of the quarter, and it was for these Fishers Tigers. Maurice Campbell showing, even though you can hit him behind the line of scrimmage multiple times, he'll come right at you and start running. This HSE's team's got to be faltered a little bit now, right? Because every time something's gone good, it's been called back by a penalty.
Anthony Beck on for the point after for the Tigers. He puts a foot into it, puts it up, and he puts it through with 59.1 seconds remaining. The Fishers Tigers lead the Hamilton Southeastern Royals by the score of 7-0. A 7-play drive that culminates in a 32-yard Maurice Campbell touchdown run. Takes about 3 minutes and 3 seconds. And the Tigers lead 7-0 over Hamilton Southeastern. What we saw last week against Avon continues this week. Haven't seen the ball put on the ground, but penalties once again coming to bite the royal-clad Southeastern football squad, as a big personal foul face mask penalty snuffed out what would have been big defensive play on the sack. That gives the Tigers some momentum to allow Campbell to run it in the rest of the way and take the early lead.
Fishers has done a great job. They showed the pass early, just put it in HSE's mind, and then they really didn't do it again. They let Maurice Campbell have the ball, for better and or for worse, as we see Chris Ford and David Herman here to receive the kickoff. Let's see if they can gain some kind of offense here.
Josh Lloyd set to kick this one away as the Tigers have a 7-0 lead. And he'll put a right foot into it, and he will kick it as it's going to take a bounce, and Ford will have to take it at the 7. He'll try to cut and reverse field. He'll elude one tackle, gets to the 15, to the 20, and he'll finally be brought down at about the 22-yard line. Ran for about 7. There is a penalty flag at the 10, which is never a good sign, as that is likely an illegal block in the back, as Ford reversed his field and took it all the way to the other side. And that usually results in an illegal block in the back against the return team.
The fact that it said he only ran for 15 yards doesn't do him justice. He ran from the other side of the field. He went from the right side of the field to the left side of the field there. That's got to account for another 30 yards. But too bad it was a block in the back there for this HSE squad, who they need to have their mental stability there and cannot keep doing these penalties. They just cannot. They're letting Fishers get in their head almost here.
So for the second straight drive, the Royals are going to start this drive deep in their own territory, this time at their own 6-yard line. Janey will work under center with Aaron Matteo lined up in the end zone. Janey gives it to Matteo. Matteo finds a little bit of a hole, and he's going to pick up some yards and give the Royals a little bit of breathing room before Josh Lloyd brings him down. A nice run by the 6', 200-pound junior. It'll be very close to a first down, and they will move the chains. Well, let's see. Yes, they will. So a 10-yard run by Aaron Matteo will give the Royals a little bit of breathing room and a first down. Will Coudray comes to the near side. Ford works the slot on the far side along with Greg Miller, the wideout. Janey this time out of the gun with Matteo to his left on 1st and 10. This is Matteo looking for room, not finding anything, as Stephen Chikari, I believe, was there to make the initial hit and stop Matteo for no gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 10 from the Royal 16-yard line.
I'd be curious for the Royals right now to surprise them and go and run outside the tackle here. But I don't think they're going to do it. I think they're going to stick with their game plan here, because really for this HSE run game, it's been pretty much boom or bust, right?
And that will end the first quarter as the clock winds down. And after a quarter of play here at Hamilton Southeastern, the 7th-ranked Tigers lead the 12th-ranked Royals by the score of 7-0. You're watching Hamilton Southeastern football on Audio Sports Online. Don't forget, you can watch any of the Royals action that has been played all season long. Just go to www.audiosportsonline.com. We'll have an on-demand replay of whatever game we have played, and usually up within about 24 hours. So check out tomorrow. We'll have a replay of this game and all games broadcast this season on Audio Sports Online.
I got to ask you, what are your thoughts so far in the first quarter here? It's basically been boom or bust, in my opinion, for either team.
Well, Southeastern is still going to have to find something more consistent They've tried to get Matteo on some runs up the middle. We saw this against Avon last week, and as Caleb mentioned, didn't see a whole lot outside the tackles. A lot of it was trying to go right up the middle, and when you look at the Hamilton Southeastern offensive line, it averages right around 235 along the front of the line, but still looking for something up the middle, yet to really get the passing game going. They had the flea flicker for the big yardage, but a penalty brought that one back. So we'll see how the Royals do as we flip the field, and they'll have it 2nd and 10 from their own 16-yard line as we begin the second quarter of play at Hamilton Southeastern, with the Royals trailing 7-0. Janey will work under center, drops back to pass, swings it out, and just couldn't get it to Chris Ford. As coming in with a big rush was Joel Wilcox, the big defensive end, a 6'2", 205-pound senior. Forced Tyler to get rid of that football before he wanted to. He had Chris Ford open on what was looking to be a little quick hitter, but just simply the defense was there too quickly as they got to Janey and forced him to get rid of the ball too quick.
Well, let me tell you something. This HSC stadium over here, or at least on our side, was rumbling when the game started. It's been noticeably more quiet since the start of the first half.
Again, that's Ford and Coudray to the near side, with Ford working out of the slot. Schrank stands up on the left side. Here's the give to Matteo. He gets some room on the right side, breaks a tackle, and he'll have the first down as finally the Royals find some room around the perimeter. And it was Aaron Matteo picking up about 14 yards on the play as they'll spot the ball at the 30-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for Southeastern.
Again, good vision by Aaron Matteo there to find the open hole. And guess what? They took my advice about running outside the tackle, and look what happened. They actually gained a first down there. Scott May, I hope, is listening to this broadcast as we speak.
Well, I hope he's not. I'm hoping he's coaching it from the sideline and not listening to us up here on this 1st and 10 for the Royals at their own 30-yard line. Coudray and Ford to the near side. Janey will work out of the gun with Matteo to his right, looking over our 4 down front. Janey back to pass. Defense quickly there, and he had a wide open Greg Miller on the far side. And Miller maybe trying to look upfield a little bit before he brought the ball in. Drops it. Again, a good pass rush. Looks coming over the defensive end. I believe that was Joel Wilcox once again, the 6'2", 205-pound senior for the Tigers that got into the backfield in a hurry. Janey was able to get rid of the ball. Miller couldn't look it in. He'll bring up 2nd and 10.
I think he thought they were playing the game hot potato out there for a second. As soon as he had the ball, he just dropped it right out of his hands. You cannot make that mistake if you're the wideout for HSC right now. You got to open up that passing game.
Miller will be all the way to the near side here as Janey works out of the gun on this 2nd and 10. He will give the ball to Matteo. Matteo looks for some room, and he will have some hard-fought yardage, 4 yards on the play before he is brought down. Looked like the tackle was made there. Coming in was Nick Farrell and R.J. Potts. A gain of 4 by Matteo and Aaron. Some very hard earned yards there, but it'll bring up 3rd and 5 for the Royals.
Yeah, he's definitely earning his yards right now. The only issue is they're not resulting in first downs, which is is your goal if you're a running back.
Ford and Coudray to the far side, Miller to the near side. And they'll bring Schrank in motion now to the near side as Janey works under center. The give is to Aaron. Aaron looks for some room. Nice cut up the field, past the 40-yard line, and dragging the defender along with him, Kevin Tribble, a 5'11", 164-pound senior corner. And again, a good run. Takes it up to the 44-yard line, and the Royals will move the chains, and it'll be 1st and 10.
Outstanding job about keeping his balance there. Before he thought he was down, put his arm up, went straight back up, and got another couple yards out of it. Blue-collar running by this HSC squad.
This drive started back at the Royals' 6-yard line. They've moved it out to the 44. They'll bring Schrank in motion to the near side, line him up as a tight end left, eye backfield behind Janey. Janey with a hard count. He'll give the ball to Matteo. Matteo looks for some room, doesn't find a whole lot. He'll gain maybe a yard on the play before he is brought down. He was tackled by Andrew Whitfield, the defensive tackle, and Whitfield lost his helmet, so he will have to go sit a play as the Royals will have a 2nd and 9 from their own 45-yard line. Clock moves at 10:52 left to go in this first half. Tigers with a 7-0 lead. Ford is the wide receiver in the slot to the far side along with Greg Miller. They'll line up Coudray to the near side. Janey under center, drops back, looks, fires over the middle, looking for Chris Ford. Good defense there by R.J. Potts, a 6'2", 180-pound sophomore safety, as he got a hand in there, knocked that ball away from Ford as the ball came into Chris's hands. It'll bring up 3rd and 9.
See, it's interesting. What I thought was going to happen is that there's going to be a lot of incomplete plays for turnovers. Tyler Janey's done a really good job out throwing the ball. It's the wide receivers just can't seem to get their hands around.
Big 3rd down and 9 for Southeastern. 3 wideouts, 2 to the far side, 1 to the near side. Janey will work under center on 3rd and 9. Tyler, long count, drops back, play action, looks, pressure comes, swings it out to Kyle Schrank. Schrank will get a few yards, and a nice defensive play once again by R.J. Potts will limit Kyle Schrank to a gain of about 5 yards up to the midfield stripe, but it will be 4th down and 4 for Southeastern, and they're going to send David Herman and the punt unit on for Hamilton Southeastern.
Well, they had a really nice run play, and then they followed up with a run play of absolutely nothing. They just can't seem to string together a good set of downs here for HSC. Hopefully that'll change. Jeremy
Chen will drop back to around his own 17 as this ball's off the side of Herman's foot. It'll take a Southeastern roll and will be down at right around the Tiger 19, 20-yard line. And the Tigers will have the ball 1st and 10, leading Hamilton Southeastern by the score of 7-0. Alongside Caleb Yarling, my name's Brian Scott. Glad you could join us for Southeastern football tonight on Audio Sports Online as the Tigers get ready to start their next drive from their own 19-yard line, up by 7 with 9:51 left to go in this first half of play.
Maurice Campbell was the MVP of that last offensive drive. Let's see if he can be back-to-back MVP for the Fishers Tigers.
Campbell, again, first 3 games of the season, 100 yards in each game, as he will get the football and he will take it right up the middle and gain about 3-4 yards on the play before he is brought down. Justin Voskuhl, 5'11", 195-pound junior inside linebacker, makes the tackle on Campbell, limiting him to just a 2-yard gain. It'll bring up 2nd and 8 for the Tigers from their own 21-yard line.
That's the thing, though, about him is whenever he seems to have a bad drive, bad offensive run from Maurice Campbell, he has a really good one. So HSC's got to be on their toes for this one, especially seeing what kind of a comeback run they'll have.
Noah Rogers to the near side, Foster and Long to the far side for the Tigers as Eaton works under center. He'll give it to Campbell. Campbell makes it through the first line, and he'll be stacked up at about the 35-yard line. Another short gain before he's brought down once again by Justin Voskuhl and a few of his defensive teammates, and it's going to bring up 3rd down and about 4 for the Tigers from their own 25-yard line. Clock moving, under 8:50 left to go first half, and the Tigers lead 7-0.
When you are Coach May right now, in a team that's losing, you love the effort that you see. Maurice Campbell surrounded by about 5 blue jerseys getting tackled.
Eaton will work under center with a tight end right. He'll drop back to pass, looks, and now he will roll to the near side. Pass is complete as he finds here over on the near sideline. Making the catch for the Fishers Tigers was Chris Thomas, a 6'1", 150-pound junior wideout, and he will have enough for a first down as now the Tigers begin to show a little more up-tempo offense. They'll go no huddle as they have it 1st and 10 from their own 36. Eaton to Campbell. Campbell shrugs off one tackle as meeting him in the backfield for Hamilton Southeastern was Bradley Murphy. Murphy shot through, had Campbell for about a 3-yard loss, but Campbell shrugged it off and managed to pick up a yard on the play. And it'll be 2nd down and 9 as the Tigers again go no huddle. Royal show blitz, and they get the outside backer Andrew Notar Donato to jump off sides. And what was 2nd and about a long 8 yards is going to be shortened up to about 2nd down and a long 3 as they'll move the ball out beyond the 42-yard line.
Yet again, you had a great defensive play followed by a flag on the play. I assume at halftime, Coach May will definitely be giving them a talking to about those flags.
You could tell the Royals, they're starting to bring a few more blitzes. They're bringing the outside backers. They're trying to bring some pressure up the middle. And once again, they will show blitz. They give us to Campbell. Campbell will not get away as he's going to be brought down. Justin Voska once again there to make the tackle for no gain, and it'll bring up third down. Maybe even a loss of a half yard on the play. They'll spot the ball just the nose of the football at the 42-yard line. So it'll be third down and 4 for the Tigers.
Great play. Again, 2 back-to-back great defensive plays here. They just need one more to cause a fourth down, and I don't see why the Fisher squad would go for it on fourth down when they're in their own territory. 3
wideouts, 2 to the far side, 1 to the near side as Eaton this time will work out of the gun. He'll bring a man in motion. That's Noah Smith. And Eaton will roll out to his left. Fires downfield. Looking deep. Has a man and well overthrown. Looking down, that was Joey Shimon, I should say, running down the far sideline, but he had excellent coverage by Ryan Brown, a 6'1", 170-pound junior corner. Good defensive coverage, and a big Zach Eaton showed he's got an arm. He overthrew that one by about 5 yards. That'll bring up fourth down, and that's going to bring out the punting unit for the Fishers Tigers.
Again, their defensive secondary showed why they're so good there. They stop another deep pass.
Josh Lloyd to punt this ball away, and he gets a beauty of a punt. That'll drive Herman back to about his 14, and he's going to get a short return on excellent coverage by the Fishers Tigers kick return, as we've got a Tiger down at about the 13-yard line as he came in to make the initial hit, and that looks like it was Colton Thomas. Slow to get up, but he gets up and he's going to head over to the sideline. So Royals starting to show a little bit more selling out to the run. They were bringing a lot more blitzes on that last set of downs, or that last drive, I should say, by the Tigers, trying to stop Campbell, looking to make Eaton beat him through the air. And the Royals did a good job. They'll have it 1st and 10 from their 19-yard line with 6:37. The name of the game right now for Hamilton Southeastern has been field position. Here's Aaron Matteo. He'll pick up about 3 yards on the play before he is brought down on a fine tackle by Luke Harbison, the strong side linebacker, a 5'9", 170-pound senior. It's a pickup of about 3 on the play. That'll bring up 2nd and 7.
Well, yeah, I guess the turf monster tackled him, right?
Southeastern, they have not had good field position this entire football game. They've managed to get out from deep in their own territory a couple of times, but haven't been able to sustain any drives. And let's see if they can do here with 6 minutes left to go in the first half. Janey back to pass. That is not Tyler Janey. That is Carter Pori. Carter Pori, the quarterback, play action pass. He rolls over to the right side. He'll pick up just a few yards on the play as he'll take it up to the 25-yard line. So Carter Pori in there now at quarterback for Hamilton Southeastern.
Interesting change here for Scott May, who's not really known for making changes mid-game. We haven't heard any news about Tyler Janey. We're hoping that he's okay. But let's see what Carter Pori can do in his moment to shine here at the Mudsock game.
So Carter Pori, a 6'3", 190-pound junior, is in at quarterback for the Royals. And now we're going to have a timeout called by head coach Scott May and the Hamilton Southeastern Royals. Their first of 3 with 5:19 left to go in this first half. It is the 7th-ranked Fishers Tigers 7, the 12th-ranked Southeastern Royals nothing. This is Hamilton Southeastern football on Audio Sports Online. As if you can hear from our crowd, Mike, the Fishers student section, which is loud, boisterous, and in mass, they take up over half that far sideline bleachers.
HSC seems to be getting worn down in this battle.
It is Carter Pori who will stay in at quarterback. Tyler Janey doesn't look like there is anything wrong with him, but they will put him on the sideline. So Carter Pori, the quarterback now, again a 6'3", 190-pound junior, seeing what he can do with at the helm of this Southeastern offense. Carter will work out of the gun. He'll have Matteo to his left. And Pori will keep it, find some room, and he'll have enough for a Southeastern first down. up past the 31, shy of the 32-yard line. And Carter Pori moves the sticks for the Royals and gives them a 1st and 10 from their own 32-yard line.
Sometimes a breath of fresh air is great for any offense, and obviously making this change from Tyler Janey to Carter Pori has proven good. He created a whole new set of downs for these Royals just by himself.
1st and 10, Southeastern, as they'll bring Coudray and Ford to the near side. Ford works the slot. Miller to the far side. Pori will work under center. Here's the give to Matteo. Matteo stuck right at the line of scrimmage. He'll get maybe a half a yard just on the impact alone, but he's brought down. Looked like the tackle, Nick Farrell, might have been in there, and Nathan Carroll for the Tigers. They'll give Matteo a gain of about a yard, 2nd and 9 for Southeastern. Clock moving, 4:33 left to go first half. Tigers lead 7-0. Alongside Caleb Yarling, I'm Brian Scott. Pori will work out of the gun, under center. He'll have Kyle Schrank tight end left. Matteo the lone tailback. Quick step drop, fires, pass is complete. Ford eludes one tackle, makes a move, and Chris Ford took one whale of a hit, stayed upright, was knocked back a couple of yards, might have got back to where the initial contact was made, but a good, strong throw by Carter Pori right on target, which might be what Scott May is looking for. He's watched his quarterback, Tyler Janey, the starter, throw a couple of balls short. Carter Pori makes a nice strike to Chris Ford for a pickup of a few yards up to the 38-yard line. The Southeastern now facing a 3rd down and 4.
Just talked to my inside source here real quick about Tyler Janey and asking if there's an injury or anything. He said, just a change of scenery, I guess, for these HSE Royals. And so far, it's working great.
Here's a give to Aaron Matteo. He breaks through and is in for a 1st down as he takes it beyond the 45 to the 46, 47-yard line. It's a pickup of about 8 on the play. They will move the chains. And it'll be 1st and 10 for Southeastern with the ball at the Southeastern 47-yard line. 4 minutes, 6 seconds left to go in this first half. 7-0 is our score, with the Fishers Tigers in the lead of the Mudsock game here at Hamilton Southeastern High School. Carter Pori taking over for starter Tyler Janey.
So far, doing a tremendous job, getting an A in my book right now.
Pori will work under center. Here's a give to Matteo. Matteo finds some room around the right side. Nice spin move past the 50 into Fishers territory at around the 47-yard line before Nick Farrell brought him down. And it's a nice pickup of about 6-7 yards on the play into Tiger territory at the 48-yard line. It'll bring up 2nd down and a long 4 for Southeastern. Clock moving. The Royals with 2 timeouts remaining. They took one on this drive. But they are now in Tiger territory on a drive that started at the Southeastern 19-yard line.
Let's see if they throw a pass here. Carter Pori had that nice pass earlier.
Pori drops back. He'll look. Plenty of time. Looking downfield. Kyle Schrank at the 25 and drugged down inside the 15, down to about the 11-yard line. Touchdown saving tackle made by Michael Kinder of Fishers, but a very nice pass from the junior Carter Pori. Right on target. They took advantage of the big 6'4", 230-pound senior bound for Ball State, Kyle Schrank, and Schrank takes it all the way down to the Tiger 11.
Wow, that was probably the best pass of this game. Great job by HSC on that one when we're beginning to see the HSC student section finally get some life to it after being lifeless through the first quarter and a half.
Offset eye to the left. Here's a give to Matteo. Matteo finds a little bit of daylight, comes over to the left side, inside the 10, down to about the 8-yard line. Clock 2:48 and counting, but the Royals now deep in Tiger territory at Fisher's 8-yard line. They can get a 1st down before getting a touchdown. They'd have to get it to about the 1-yard line. It'll bring up 2nd down in about 7.
I hate to admit this right now, but worst case scenario, you're going to score a field goal. So this is looking really good for these HSC Royals right now.
Offset eye to the left. Alec Jessup is the fullback, and everybody on par except, I believe, Ty Scholl.
Ironically enough, the guy who's supposed to be the signal caller for the offense was the one who went offside. So maybe he was just overthinking it a little bit, or maybe he was ahead of the game compared to his other fellow linemen here. But
we saw Carter Pori, the as soon as the penalty and the whistles, clapping his hands, telling his guys, let's go, let's keep it going. The penalty is against Southeastern, and deep in Tiger territory, again, this time another penalty is going to push the Southeastern Royals back to the 13-yard line, where it will be second down and about 12.
Let's hope 13 is the lucky number for HSE right now.
Greg Miller to the far side, and it's Coudray and Ford to the near side. This time, Borey will work out of the gun. The give is to Matteo. He finds room right up the middle, and he'll plow down to about the 7-yard line, a pickup of about 5 on the play.
Interesting thing here, Carter Pori has completed both of his passes that he's done. One, a really nice pass to tight end Kyle Schrank. I say give Carter Pori's arm another chance here and see if he can make some magic and hopefully have these HSE Royal squad get on the scoreboard for the first time all game.
We're at 1:50 left to go in the first half, as Ford will line up on the far side of the field with Miller. And head coach Scott May not liking what he saw in that offensive lineup. He calls the second of his third 3 timeouts with 1:43 left to go in the first half. Tigers lead Southeastern 7-0. This is the best drive of the game for Hamilton Southeastern, and it comes after Carter Pori takes over under center, calling the signals for Hamilton Southeastern. He takes over for starter Tyler Janey. A big pass play to Kyle Schrank down the middle of the field. Got the Royals in deep into Tiger territory, but they'll face a 3rd down and 6 from the Fishers 8-yard line when they come back to the line of scrimmage after this timeout. Southeastern, 1 timeout remaining.
I think because of the fact they brought in the backup quarterback, the Fishers coaches couldn't really plan against him. So basically, he's proven to be the X factor in this game so far. And mind you, he's been a mighty fine and fantastic X factor for this HSE offense.
That is Coudray to the near side, Miller and Ford to the far side, with Ford working out of the slot. Matteo, the lone tailback. Pori under center. Fisher shows blitz. They will bring it. Pori throws to Coudray in the corner, and he was out of bounds, but a nice play on the fade route. Nice coverage in the end zone. And looking to see who that was. I believe it was Michael Kinder, maybe.
Michael Kinder's the one who pushed him out of bounds, yeah.
So a good fade route. Coudray went up for it, couldn't keep the feet in bounds, and that'll bring Brady Hoffman on to attempt what will be a 24-yard field goal.
Good enough for HSE here to get some offense. They've only held the Tigers to 1 touchdown so far here. And if HSE just gets 1 more touchdown throughout the game and they continue to hold the Tigers scoreless, field goal, by the way, good by Brady Hoffman.
Brady Hoffman knocks it through from 24 yards out, and the Royals are on the scoreboard after Carter Pori leads Southeastern on their first scoring drive, a drive that covered 81 yards and took over 5 minutes of clock off of the scoreboard, and it took about 10 plays. So a nice sustained drive by Hamilton Southeastern. Coach Scott May would love to have the touchdown, but I think he's got to be happy that his junior quarterback comes in off the bench and leads his team down the field and puts some points on the board. So it is 7-3 in favor of the Tigers, and it will be Brady Hoffman set to kick this one away. Back deep will be R.J. Potts and Roberto Rodriguez for the Tigers.
HSE getting lined up here. They had something go their way. 3 points is better than no points there. And let's see how the defense reacts here with a little bit of something to play for the first time all game.
Hoffman set to kick this one away, and he puts a right foot into it. A low skipper that is taken at about the 15. Up to the 25, to the 30, 35. And this is R.J. Potts with another fine return. He'll take it beyond the 42, up to the 43-yard line. A low kick, which doesn't give your kickoff team a lot of time to get down the field. That allowed R.J. Potts to build up a head of steam, and he'll take it all the way out to the Tiger 43-yard line, where Fishers has it 1st and 10, leading 7-3 with 1:27 left to go, and all 3 of their timeouts remaining.
Looks like they're doing the no huddle here as they're getting started on this first drive to end the half here with 1:30 left on the clock.
Zach Eaton bends under center, and he gives it to Campbell. Campbell with some room around the left side, and he'll take it into Hamilton Southeastern territory, and he'll pick up about 13 or so yards on the play before he is brought down. Tackled, I believe, by Donato, but it's a big gain into Royal territory at to the 45-yard line. 1st and 10 Tigers. They quickly get up to the line of scrimmage. Clock is wound. Eaton back to pass. Good protection. Now he'll tuck and run, and he'll slide down at about the 41-yard line and pick up a 4 yards on the play as we approach 1 minute left. And now Coach Rick Wimmer will use the first of his 3 timeouts, with the Tigers will have it 2nd and 6 from the Royal 41-yard line after a fine kickoff return by R.J. Potts gave the Tigers good field position to start this drive after the Royals managed to cut the deficit to 4 after the 24-yard Brady Hoffman field goal.
The defense has not started out going well, so they're playing a very catchy song right now over the loudspeaker, might I add. With a minute left, you can't, minute 02, pardon me to be exact here, you can't give up anything big here. Boy, the Fishers Tigers have seemed to be great in every single aspect that the HSC Royals have not. They've had great field position to start every possession, which HSC's not. They've had a fantastic running game, which HSC hasn't. But guess what? In my opinion, the defense for HSC's been better, and the passing game for HSC has been fantastic since this Carter Pori, who if you go around HSC and ask a lot of people who the backup quarterback is, they won't tell you. He should be starting right now based upon how he's playing.
It'll be 2nd down and 6 for the Tigers. 3 wideouts with 2 to the far side. As Royals show blitz, but they back out into coverage. Eaton back to pass, fires down the field. Pass is complete on a strike as he hits over there on the far side. I believe it was Noah Rogers on a big strike that takes it all the way down to the Southeastern 18-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 Tigers with 56.8 seconds remaining in this first half.
You can't sleep, HSC, on defense. You can't sleep. It's what's keeping you in the game right now.
Eaton with a nice bullet. He drops back to pass. Penalty flags. He'll go to the far side. He was looking over there for Simeon Foster. Pass incomplete and over his head, but a penalty flag on the play, and this looks like it might be offsides against Southeastern. We'll wait for the signal. Nope, illegal procedure against the Tigers. So penalty against Fishers will back them up 5 as they will push Fishers back to the Southeastern 23-yard line. It'll be 1st and 15 with 43.6 seconds remaining in this opening half. Fishers lead 7-3. A Maurice Campbell 32-yard touchdown run, the only points for the Tigers. That came in the first quarter. Brady Hoffman has put the first Royals points on the board on this last drive on a 24-yard field goal. 3 wideouts as Zach Eaton will have Maurice Campbell to his left. And it's quarterback draw, looks for some room, takes it up the middle and down to about the 15-yard line. He'll pick up about 6-7 yards on the play, and the Tigers will take their second timeout with 33.9 seconds remaining as they will have it 2nd down and 7 from the Southeastern 15-yard line. Alongside Caleb Yarling, I'm Brian Scott. It's the Mudsock game here at Hamilton Southeastern High School. Tigers lead the Royals 7-3, and they're threatening to put some more points on the board. All started by a fine kickoff return by R.J. Potts. A nice pass from Zach Eaton to Noah Rogers took it deeper into Royals territory, and now the Tigers will have it 2nd and 7 from the 15.
Wow, that was a fantastic athletic leap there by Noah Rogers of the Fishers Tigers. But if you're HSC right now, they're playing mental games with you. They're doing quarterback draws when they're showing pass. They're having deep passes. They're running the ball real well right now. If you're HSC, you don't know what to do. If you're Fishers right now, do you continue to take time off the clock and run the ball, or do you just get it over with and get a touchdown pass in there? Let's see what Coach Wimmer and his Fishers Tigers squad has going on right here as they're right on the within the 20-yard line, excuse me.
Jordan Hernandez is the wide out to the near side for the Tigers. They'll have a 3-wide look with 2 to the near side. Royals show base defense. Eaton back to pass, fires to the near side. Pass is complete at the 12, and it's Simeon Foster into that is Hernandez in for the touchdown. As coming in to make the catch was Jordan Hernandez. As the Tigers score quickly, and they are an extra point away from taking a 14-3 lead.
HSC slept on defense. They thought it was nice to take a little bit of a slumber, thinking that Fishers would quietly go to end the half. No, they didn't, and that's all the fault there of the defense there. Although Fishers did run some good plays here, as the extra point by Fishers is obviously good here. 3-14 in favor of these Tigers, who are visiting HSC. The HSC crowd has gone completely silent as some of them begin to leave early to grab their snacks. But the Fishers cheerleaders right now are running their Tiger flag. And if you're Coach Wimmer right now, you got to be feeling really good to be scoring 14 points and a half against an HSC defense that, going into the season, everybody thought was going to be one of the better ones in the state. And they really have not done as well as they possibly can. I'm not sure if it's because they feel there's too much pressure on them because of the offense, or just because of the fact, like you said from earlier, from the Avon game, they're just too worn out. But hopefully this break here at halftime for HSC will definitely be a good mental break for them.
Zach Eaton hits Jordan Hernandez on a 15-yard touchdown pass, and indeed the Tigers lead Southeastern 14-3 as we get ready for the kickoff, as Lloyd is back to kick this one away. Josh Lloyd back deep. Chris Ford, David Herman for Southeastern. 26.6 seconds remain as Lloyd is ready to kick for the Tigers. He'll put a foot into it, and this one's going to go into the end zone. Chris Ford will take it, and Carter Pori will make the trip out to the line of scrimmage once again, with Southeastern will have the ball 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line, but only 26.6 seconds remain. So we'll see what Coach Scott May elects to do. Will he fall on the football here? Southeastern won the toss. They'll get the football to begin the second half.
Basically, the offense is running on all cylinders right now, to put it in like almost kind of Greek mythology terms here. It's like the sweet sound of a piccolo for this Fishers offense right now, as they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. As HC snaps the ball here, Carter Pori, pass, interception on the play by, I believe, Michael Kinder.
Pass was intended for Will Coudray over on the far sideline, but the pass off of Coudray and goes into the air, and indeed it is Michael Kinder that comes away with the interception. Hard thrown ball. Coudray probably should have had it, but it bounced off of his shoulder pads into the air, and Kinder comes down with the interception. And with 21.1 seconds remaining, I believe the Tigers still with 2 timeouts remaining. They'll have the football at the Royal 29-yard line. 1st down and 10 as Zach Eaton back out onto the field. It was a 15-yard touchdown pass to Jordan Hernandez. Eaton back to pass. Plenty of time, fires over to the left side. Pass is complete over on the far side of the field. Evan Long, I believe, with the catch. It's going to be a pickup of about 4 yards on the play down to the 25-yard line. 15.7 seconds remain, and the Tigers with a 14-3 lead.
Boy, if you're Carter Pori right now, that's got to hurt your confidence just a little bit. You had this nice 3 passes in a row, and it really was spot on. It bounced off the wideout, bounced off Will Coudray, and Michael Kinder had some great eyesight there, the eyesight of a hawk, and caught the ball. And kudos to Fisher's defense there, as their offense has another possession.
Jordan Hernandez lines up on the far side. Back to pass is Eaton. He'll swing it out on a screen. They get the ball out to Campbell. Campbell down inside the 10 and to about the 8-yard line, as they good job by Zach Eaton in that offensive line. They let the Royals come through. They set up the screen. Campbell takes it down inside the 10 to about the 9 with 7.3 seconds left. Fishers will take a timeout. I believe that leaves them with one remaining, and we'll see. They have probably time for one more offensive play before being able to bring the field goal unit on, but they'll have to throw it into the end zone. It's either a touchdown or he's going to have to throw it out the back of the end zone, make sure it's incomplete, and they're going to have to do it in a hurry.
Boy, if you're HSE right now, just stop the laziness and get in there and show them what you're doing. These are your crosstown rivals right now, and some costly errors here. I mean, you can't go back and fix those, but right now your most important goal is to stop them from scoring.
Tyler Janney, who was the quarterback, is now playing safety for Southeastern, so he moves over to the defensive side of the ball. He takes over as the free safety now for Southeastern. On this 1st and goal from the 9, 7.3 seconds remain. Eaton will work out of the gun, 2 wideouts to the near side. Drops back to pass, looks, fires, looking in the end zone, has a man there, and
he had 1 foot in.
And it's a touchdown. Simeon Foster brings it down on a fine throw by Zach Eaton. And with 1.2 seconds remaining, the Tigers add another touchdown, and they're pending an extra point away from making this a 21-3 game in a span of just a couple of minutes. It was 7-3 about a minute ago, and Josh Lloyd's on. The extra point is up. The extra point is good. And with 1.2 seconds remaining in this first half, it is now Fishers 21 and Hamilton Southeastern 3. The Tigers turn the interception into 7, and much like we saw with Southeastern last week against Avon, turnover costs them big time, and instead of being down 14-3 at the half, they're now down 21-3.
Wow. What I will say is this, if you're HSE, if you're Carter Prore, to give him a pat on the back, his stuff has been right on spot. That one pass for an interception was in his hands. It just took a ugly bounce. I've never really seen a ball quite take that bounce before in my young broadcasting career here. But, boy, if you're HSE, you got to Coach May right now, you can say whatever you want about game plans. I think the most important thing going to that locker room is just getting your team's confidence up. They just the looks and their mannerisms right now, they're holding their head in their hands. And it's looking pretty grim if you're HSE, and you still have another half of football here, so don't get too down on yourself.
Josh Lloyd getting ready to kick this one away. Back deep, Herman and Ford for Southeastern. 1.2 seconds remain, and they'll just kick this low, and a penalty flag as it is going to be offsides against Fishers. As you could tell by Josh Lloyd, he wasn't going to let this one kick into the end zone and have a chance of Southeastern maybe getting one play. They were going to kick it low and run out this half on the kick, but right now, 1.2 seconds. Well, I think they've got the clock a little bit messed up.
Hey, HSE will gladly take a minute and 2 seconds if you want to give them that right now.
Yeah, 1.2 seconds, and they do get the clock corrected as they move it back 5 yards, and Lloyd will kick this one away from the 35-yard line now. Again, one of the rule changes in high school football this year, everybody has to be within 5 yards of the football now, except for the kicker, and Lloyd will put a foot into it. It'll be touched by an up man, and Southeastern will fall on it as that will be the end of the first half of play. Southeastern, they get a drive to make it within 7-3, only to watch the Fishers Tigers score 2 quick touchdowns. And as both teams head to the locker room at the end of the first half, it is the 7th-ranked Fishers Tigers 21 and the 12th-ranked Hamilton Southeastern Royals 3. We're going to take a bit of a timeout. We'll talk a little bit about what's going on in the Hoosier Crossroads Conference tonight. And once the band gets out there, well, we'll turn up the microphone and let you hear the fabulous Hamilton Southeastern Royal Marching Band. Again at the half, 21-3 in favor of Fishers. You're watching Hamilton Southeastern football on Audio Sports Online.
60th anniversary 2015 Ford Mustang convertible. Tickets are $50 and can be purchased here tonight. Please look for RBC members in the yellow shirt to purchase your raffle ticket. Tickets can also be purchased in the athletic office. Only 2,000 tickets will be sold. The drawing will be held December 13th. Thank you for your support of the Royal Varsity Club. Ladies and gentlemen, the United Southeastern School Foundation is excited to play for KI in connection with Mudsock Week. On the field now is Mike Quigley, principal of Southeastern High School, Jason Urban, principal of Hoosier High School, Susan Ginsburg, district leader of KI, Freedom Cole, executive director of the Hamilton Southeastern School Foundation, and Danny Robinson, chair of Mudsock. We want to thank our 21 schools, local fire departments, the Fishers Rotary, the Fishers YMCA, Fall Creek Township trustees, Delaware Township trustees, and all the individual donors for your participation in the 2014 Oscar Bowl to stock our local food pantry. Sponsored by Meyer, the Oscar Bowl is collection is the largest food drive connected to high school football that helps our neighbors who are struggling with hunger. This issue is important to Hamilton Southeastern because when students are hungry, it's tough to learn. The foundation would also like to recognize our Teachers of the Year. The Hamilton Southeastern School District is fortunate to have dynamic teachers who engage and encourage our students. The following individuals were recognized by their peers in schools as being an exceptionally outstanding educator. Please join us in saluting the following teachers. From Cumberland Road, Donna Shear. From Durban Elementary, Mary Sizemore. From Fall Creek Elementary, Lacey Robinson. From Fishers Elementary, Erica Boyd. From Dice Elementary, Autumn Carter. From Harrison Parkway Elementary, Erica Klein. From Hoosier Road Elementary, Angela Pfeiffer. From New Britain Elementary, Sherry Weiner. From Sand Creek Elementary, Jennifer Jacks. From Fall Creek Intermediate, Jennifer Hill. From Riverside Intermediate, Heather Morrison. From Fisher High School, Kim Fagan. And from Hamilton Southeastern High School, Karen Foster. And now, from Sand Creek Intermediate School, the Hamilton Southeastern Teacher of the Year, Jennifer Suskovich. Jennifer is an HSC 21 trainer and an advocate for integrating technology in the classroom. She pursues interactive learning in her classroom and develops opportunities for students to grow, learn, and succeed. Not able to join us tonight, but deserving recognition of Teachers of the Year in their individual buildings are Kirsten King, Jeff Lively, Marissa Grant, Megan Padgett, Mary Parsons, and Brian Brown. On behalf of the Hamilton Southeastern School Foundation and all the Royals and Tigers fans here tonight, thank you to our Teachers of the Year for your incredible commitment to inspire learning. Dwayne Hayes, please report to the press box. Dwayne Hayes, please report to the press box. Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the center of the field. In the 2014 Royal Canadian Guard will be presenting the first three movements of their 2014 show entitled What Lies Within. The arranger is Steve McConnell. The band directors are John Crick and Mike Neal. Drum makers are seniors Alex Metz and Frank Wood. This year's players include Jordan, Tara Redler, Kendall Mayhew, Samantha Scott, Percy Neely, and Josh Graham on soprano saxophone. Our brass quartet consists of trombonist Spencer Rowley and Jeffrey Wilson. The baritones are Gerald Emerson and Brian Burke.
The parrot.
Is the band ready? You may take the field with halftime performance.
Thunder and rain have done it again. Only the keeper sees that, well, they fear not men in the woods, because they see so few. You will hear the beat and the swish of the skirt in the dew, as though they perfectly knew the old moss road through the woods. Whose woods these are, I think I know.
Thrush music. Hark. Now if it was dusk outside, inside it was dark. Too dark in the woods for a bird. Far in the poured dark, thrush music west. Almost like a call to come in to the dark and lament. Almost like a call to come in to the dark and lament.
I have been one acquainted with the night. Out of the night that covers me, blank is the pit from pole to pole. I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. The woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have miles to go before I sleep. Miles to go before I sleep.
Into the meadow storm, ivory lipped from brown flashes.
Agenda is hosting the second annual Royal Invitational Dance Contest coming up Saturday, September 20th. We'd like to introduce two contact event directors, also directors for assisting with that event, also contact the band office. Tomorrow, the Royal Commanding Guard competes in the Sound of Brownsburg contest. Good luck, Royals.
Halftime at Hamilton Southeastern High School, and the 12th-ranked Royals find themselves trailing the 7th-ranked Tigers by the score 21-3. Brian Scott back with you as we get ready for second-half action here in just a little bit. We'll take a look around the Hoosier Crossroads Conference tonight as conference play began last week. Of course, now with the streamlined Hoosier Crossroads Conference, 7 teams. That means one team is always going to be playing a non-conference game. Last week, well, of course, Hamilton Southeastern fell to Avon 31-10. Brownsburg had a come-from-behind victory over Franklin 34-27. Brownsburg's running back Tokes Akinrabadi, he had 348 yards, 4 touchdowns. That was a school record as the Bulldogs won their second game of the season in a row. They are 2-1 on the year, and the Bulldogs are playing Avon tonight. Fishers defeated Noblesville, as we mentioned last week, 16-13, and Westfield defeated Zionsville 44-34. Other games tonight, Brebeuf is at Zionsville, and the last I saw in that game, Brebeuf was up handily in that contest, and Westfield is at Noblesville, and as mentioned, Avon is at Brownsburg tonight, and the last we heard that score was 7-7 at the half. Next week, Avon is at Whiteland, Avon with the non-conference game. Brownsburg will take on the Fishers Tigers. That game will be at Fishers. Your Hamilton Southeastern Royals will make a trip over to Westfield to play a very, very tough Westfield Shamrock team. And again, that game is at Westfield, and Noblesville will be at Zionsville. As we take a look at the HCC, nobody is undefeated, but nobody is also winless either. 5 teams all with 2-1 records: Avon, Fishers, Westfield, Brownsburg, and Noblesville, all 2-1 on the year. Hamilton Southeastern and Zionsville are 1-2. And Brownsburg is the only team as of the end of play last week that had not played a conference game. Avon, Fishers, and Westfield all had conference wins last week, while the Royals, Noblesville, and Zionsville all had conference losses. So that's a quick look at the Hoosier Crossroads Conference. Our score at the half, 21-3 in favor of the Tigers. This game took a little bit of a while to get going before finally Fishers was able to get some offense on the ground behind Maurice Campbell. Campbell scored from 32 yards out in the first quarter to give Fishers the lead in this contest early, 7-0. That's the way this game would go back and forth until the second quarter, and when Hamilton Southeastern elected to put in junior Carter Puri at quarterback. We've learned at halftime that the move really wasn't anything to do with Tyler Janey at quarterback or any type of injury to Janey. Matter of fact, it was more of head coach Scott May wanting to move Janey to the other side of the ball, put him at safety, and shore up a Hamilton Southeastern secondary. Pori came in, marched the Royals down the field, and a big pass in that drive was to Kyle Schrank. It covered about 40 yards. The Royals would get inside the 10, and it would eventually have a 1st and goal, but a penalty would push them back, and they would have to settle for a 24-yard Brady Hoffman field goal, but the Royals were on the board. They trailed 7-3. Fishers answered right back. They came on a drive after a nice kickoff return by R.J. Potts. Zach Eaton hit Jordan Hernandez on a 15-yard touchdown pass. Within about a minute left to go in the first half, and the Tigers extended their lead to 14-3. On the next possession, after a touchback, it was Carter Pori looking for Will Coudray on the far side. Nice pass, maybe had a little bit of mustard on it, hit Coudray high in the shoulder pads. It bounced off. It was picked off, and eventually, just a couple of plays later, Zach Eaton found Simeon Foster in the corner. Foster managed to do a little toe tap in the corner, get the foot down, in for the touchdown with 1.7 seconds remaining. And a very deflated Hamilton Southeastern went to the locker room at the half, trailing 21-3. What does Southeastern need to do? Well, they showed some signs of life offensively with Carter Pori at quarterback. Being able to throw the football opens up a running game, and with Pori throwing the football, we did see Aaron Matteo get a few better runs, started running outside the tackles a bit. Defensively, the move to bringing Janey over to the defensive side of the ball, we'll see how that goes. We saw Hamilton Southeastern load up and try to do a lot more run blitzing to help kind of simmer down Maurice Campbell's run. But Zach Eaton, while he hasn't been lighting up the offensive stats for the Tigers early this season, he did come back with 2 really nice drives through the ball very, very effectively. And while the Royals were trying to load up against the run, Eaton started throwing it down the field. And it allowed the Tigers to get 2 quick touchdowns within about a minute, and they lead at the half 21-3. Caleb Yarling is back with me here as we get ready for second half action. The Royals will have the football to begin the second half, and right now I've got to think what the Hamilton Southeastern Royals need most of all. They just need a nice sustained drive down the field, a little bit of passing, a little bit of running, but what they really need is 7 points, and that's going to be key on this opening drive of the second half.
I think another thing key is don't have your head in your hands. That was a huge sign that they were showing on the sidelines to end that first half. And if you're HSC, you can't show your opponent that you're mentally down. You got to go out there, you got to be together, and you got to be in sync, and you cannot have your head in your hands. I hope that's one thing Scott May definitely told them they shouldn't do, amongst some other things, which include wide receivers. If the ball's in your area and it's in your hands, make sure you close them so that way you can run and get a first down for HSC. And also, no more penalties. This is a no penalty zone right now if you're HSC. You got to make sure that there are no miscues at all, because right now you're down 21-3 to your rival at home, and a loss against Fishers will put them at 1-4 in the season, and have your crosstown rival be better than you and beat you at home in the Mudsock game. That's never a good thing if you're HSC. And right now, if I'm one of those HSC players, I'm getting pumped for this game. I'm getting excited. I'm getting excited of the prospect of coming back and making every single person in this stadium excited and on their feet at an HSC win here against their crosstown rival here, who many of these people have been playing rec football against. They were like in the second grade. Definitely right now, Carter Peoria, I believe, should be in. I saw him and Janie both warming up, and we will see who the quarterback is here in a little bit as HSC's receiving the ball. And Fishers is getting ready to kick it away. I'm going to hand it off to you, Brian.
Aaron Matteo is now joining Chris Ford on kickoff returns. It had been David Herman, but looking for some big returns. That's been one of the big keys to this football game. Southeastern, well, let's just say they've had poor field position this entire game to start drives, and they're hoping that between Matteo and Ford, well, they can get a bit of a better start in the field position game as Josh Lloyd is set to kick this one away. And the second half action is underway. It's a short kick, and it will go out of bounds. And if Hamilton Southeastern needed any type of luck, they'll get it on the opening kickoff as a poor kick by Josh Lloyd will go out of bounds. And the Southeastern Royals will start this drive with really the best field position they've had all game on the kickoff out of bounds. They'll start at 1st and 10 from their own 35-yard line, as it will be Tyler Janey that will start the second half. So Janey started the football game, played a couple of drives. He will start the second half as the Royals have it 1st and 10 from their own 35-yard line, trailing 21-3. So Janey under center, fires over to the right side, has his big tight end Kyle Schrank for a pickup of about 4 or 5 yards on the play before he is brought down. Looks like Luke Harbison and Jeremy Chin in there on the tackle, but it's a pickup of 5 yards by the big tight end. It'll bring up 2nd and 5.
If you're HSC right now, the goal for your offense is to play efficiently. Don't waste time. Don't make penalties. Your goal right now is to score 3 touchdowns right now and get yourself back in this game and win it.
Greg Miller is the wide out to the near side. He's joined by Chris Ford working the slot. Will Coudray to the far side. Janey doesn't get the football. Ball is loose. Janey will finally be able to fall on it, as it looked like Nick Farrell, the weak side linebacker for the Tigers, he had a chance to recover it. Couldn't come up with a football. Janey's able to fall on it back at the Royal 32-yard line, but it's a loss of 8 on the play.
That's exactly what you can't do if you're HSC right now. If you're Scott May, you got to be boiling hot right now and hope that the play you called right now is going to be effective as you have a 3rd and long situation.
3rd and long for the Royals at their own 37-yard line. Need to get it to the 45. Janey works out of the gun. Low snap, picks it up, eludes one rush. Pressure comes from behind, and Janey goes down. It's a big 6'2", 205-pound senior defensive end, Joel Wilcox. And the Royals, who had excellent field position out of the kickoff out of bounds, watches the ball end up loose on the carpet, and now a big sack pushes them all the way back to the 25-yard line, and that's going to bring out David Herman to punt this ball away.
Yeah, definitely not a good start for this quarter if you're HSC right now, where you cannot make any mistakes, and you had back-to-back ones here as they set up for the kick. David Herman for the punt.
It's a low line drive that'll be taken at about the 41-yard line. Coming up the near side is Jeremy Chin, and right at about the midfield stripe, he's going to be tackled. And the Fishers Tigers, as we've talked about the Southeastern Royals having poor field position this entire game for the most part, the Tigers can be said just the opposite. They've had very good field position, and they'll start their first drive of the second half at the midfield stripe with 9:54 remaining, up 21-3 as Zach Eaton brings the offense out. Now Eaton threw the ball well late in that second half as the Royals had been showing selling out to the run. Now we see the Royals drop back a little bit, and we'll see what Eaton does out of the gun. He'll swing it out to the near side. Pass is completed to the 50, down to the 45, down to the 43 as Noah Smith has the football. He's brought down by Matt White over here on the near side, but it's going to be a pickup of about 8 down to the 42-yard line, where it will be 2nd down and 2.
Great read there by the Fishers offense as you're looking at a 2nd and 8. HSC, stop them right now. You got to get in there. You got to show them that you're the rough aggressor, that you're the home team right now. You can't keep getting beaten around like this.
This time Eaton will work under center. Campbell, the lone tailback. It is Campbell with the football. Makes a cut, makes another cut, and he'll have the first down as he takes it inside the 40, down to the 38-yard line to pick up a 4 yards for the big senior full tailback. And Campbell and the Tigers will move the chains. They'll have it 1st and 10 at the Royal 38-yard line.
HSC right now, it's a 1st down. You have a new chance to stop them from getting 4 downs here. Your main opportunity right now should be to stop the run and play great coverage right now, because I haven't really seen much else other than it being a short pass or a run from Maurice Campbell.
Tigers go trips left, single wide out to the near side. Play action, they'll throw it out, do a little bubble screen. Pass is complete to the 30 and down to the 25-yard line over on that far side. As once again, it was Simeon Foster on a quick little bubble screen on the far side. They lined up trips left. They got the ball quickly out, but a penalty flag is going to bring this back as Fishers is going to be called for holding. So a fortuitous penalty flag right there for the Southeastern defense, because that play right there would have put it down inside the 30, close to the 25-yard line, and instead the Tigers are going to be working backward on what was a well-designed play.
That was definitely a break for HSC right now as they move the ball back here.
They'll spot the ball back at the Royal 44-yard line. That'll bring up 1st down in about 16 yards to go.
I think they need to go back to putting Tyler Janey back at the safety, because they seem to be better at stopping them. I know they gave up 2 quick touchdowns, but I think that works better than what they're currently doing right now.
Eaton to Campbell. Campbell takes it over the right side. He'll pick up about 4 yards on the play before he's brought down by the 5'11", 195-pound senior linebacker Ryan Clements. Give him maybe 4 yards down to the Royal 41-yard line. It'll bring up 2nd down and 13 for the Tigers. 8:14 left to go, 3rd quarter. Tigers leading the Southeastern Royals 21-3, along with Caleb Yarling. I'm Brian Scott. Thanks for joining us for Royal Football on Audio Sports Online. 2 wideouts to the near side, 1 to the far side. Lone tailback is Maurice Campbell as Eaton will work out of the gun, out of the under center. Royals bring a linebacker. They'll throw it over the middle. Jordan Hernandez, the intended receiver. Ryan Brown was in coverage. Royals brought a linebacker to bring some pressure up the middle. That may have caused Zach Eaton to get that ball out of his hands just a little bit quicker than he wanted to. It brings it incomplete. It'll bring up 3rd down in about 13.
That was great coverage there by HSC. You cannot complain if you're Scott May. You had 2 guys with the ball, and then you had another guy behind it who could have intercepted it if given the chance now. Let's see if the defense can build upon that nice play.
3 wideouts, 2 to the near side as Eaton goes back under center. He gives it to Campbell. Campbell with a lot of running room to the 30, to the 20, inside the 10, and into the end zone. A 41-yard touchdown run by Maurice Campbell, and it's another 6 points for the Tigers. They're looking for their 7th on the point after, looking to make this a 28-3 game.
Wow, Fishers is really putting on a clinic tonight against this HSE squad. I thought HC had a nice defensive play, and they followed it up by allowing a huge touchdown run to the guy they should be containing this whole game.
Well, Campbell had, I believe, about 70 yards on the ground in the first half. That 40-yard run will run his streak to 4. Little stutter step in this point after is no good. It's a bit of a bad snap, bad hold. It caused Josh Lloyd to stutter step, and it throws his timing off. So the point after is no good, but that's no consolation to the Hamilton Southeastern Royals as they've watched their rival, the Tigers of Fishers, jump out to a 27-3 lead. As Fishers put in 2 touchdowns within about the final minute of the first half, and they take their first drive of the second half and put it in the end zone with Maurice Campbell running it in from 41 yards out. Again, the point after no good, but the Tigers up 27-3.
I really got to give credit to these Fishers Tigers right now. They are definitely ripping apart this HSE defense that really has been so far in the game a disappointment. And kudos to this Fisher squad. Kudos to Coach Wimmer. HSE, get your head in the game right now because you're down 4 scores.
Well, we've seen what Maurice Campbell can do. He is a strong running back, but get him into the second level of defense. He can turn on an extra gear, and he will simply outrun everybody to the end zone. He does it again from 41 yards out, runs his streak to 4 consecutive games with 100 yards on the ground, and now Southeastern in a world of hurt, trailing 27-3. This one's going to be taken at about the 3. Matteo to the 15, to the 20, 25 to the 30, 35, and Aaron Matteo with a fine kickoff return out past the 40-yard line to around the 41-yard line. And for the second straight possession here in the second half, the Royals will have excellent field position. Now let's see if their offense can do something with it as they get ready for their second possession here of the second half. And it is, again, Tyler Janey that will lead the offense back out onto the field. 7:31 left to go in this third quarter, trailing 27-3. They'll start the drive on the 41-yard line as Janey will bend under center. Aaron Matteo, the lone tailback, looking over a 4-man front. Janey with a long count. Takes a snap, play action pass, drops back. Pressure comes, he'll roll to his right and he'll keep it. Looks, cuts it upfield, and Tyler Janey will pick up about 5 yards. He was looking downfield, but good coverage in the secondary by the Tigers forces Janey to keep it. He'll pick up, let's say, a little bit more than 5 yards past the 46-yard line. It'll be second down on a long 4 for the Royals.
Great job by Tyler Janey there to make something out of nothing. 5 yards was a pretty good gain considering it looked like he was about ready to get sacked. The HSE line is doing an all right job as far as pass protection for Tyler Janey.
Coudray and Ford to the near side with Ford working out of the slot. Janey works out of the gun. Again, a long count. Here's a keeper by Janey. Finds some room on the right side, and he is met and he is dropped. Janey will pick up a few yards on the play, but he is met hard by, I believe, over there on that side of the field, I believe it was Luke Harbison. It's a pickup of a couple of yards to the 49. That'll bring up 3rd and 2 for Southeastern at the ball on their own 49-yard line. Greg Miller is the wide out to the near side. Ford works the near slot. And it's a direct snap. And plowing ahead for the first down is Tyler Janey, as he will take it into Tiger territory at the 48-yard line. 1st and 10 Southeastern. So once again, they're now back into Tiger territory. 6:10 left to go third quarter, but the Royals trail 27-3. Janey will work under center this time. Wide receivers 2 to the left. Again, another long count by Tyler. Drops back to pass. Fires over the right side. Pass complete to Kyle Schrank. He will get inside the 45 down to about the 43-yard line, a pickup of about 5. They've found the big tight end this game. They didn't see a whole lot of Kyle Schrank against Avon. But again, the Avon defense did a lot better job of rushing the Southeastern quarterback. This time, Schrank with another reception, another pickup of 5 yards down to the 44-yard line. It'll bring up second and a long 5.
HSC's doing a great job. They're so far no mistakes and just keep driving the ball. And right now, that's all you can ask for.
Janey works out of the gun. Matteo to his right. We'll look over the Tiger defense. Takes the snap, and he'll keep it, and he won't go too far. Not a very good read by Tyler Janey. Might have pulled that one out a little too soon. He'll pick up maybe a yard or two before he's brought down. Nick Farrell and Nathan Carroll among those that brought him down. But it's going to bring up third down and about 5 yards to go for Southeastern at the Tiger 43-yard line. Clock moves, 5:22 left to go in this third quarter of play. 2 wideouts to the near side, 1 to the far side. Janey works the gun with Matteo to his right. He will keep it, or gives it to Matteo. Matteo bursts through a hole, down inside the 30 and down to the 23-yard line. That time, Janey did read it right, gave it to Matteo. Matteo burst through into the second line of defense, and he is down inside the 30, down, to the 28-yard line. A gain of 15 for Matteo and a 1st and 10 for Southeastern as we hit the 5-minute mark of the third quarter.
Second time this game where he's come out of nowhere and had a great run.
Janey will have Matteo to his left, 2 wideouts to the far side. Will Coudray is the wideout to the near side. Here's Matteo, finds some room on the right side, breaks a tackle, keeps his hips churning, the legs moving, and he will take it down close to the 15-yard line, maybe just outside, but it's enough for a Royal first down with the football at the 15-yard line of Fishers. Another hard run by Aaron Matteo, this time around the right side. And he gives the Royals a 1st and 10, but they trail 27-3.
HSE right now definitely moving the chains and doing exactly what Coach May asked them to do, and that's really what you can ask for after was kind of a pitiful offensive first quarter here as Tyler Janey's getting set up.
Coudray and Ford to the near side. Janey drops back, pressure comes, eludes one tackle, now he'll tuck it, and he will go and gain maybe 3 or 4 yards. That's Joel Wilcox, who has been a thorn in the Royals' side all night as he has been in the Royal backfield probably a lot more often than not. He gave pressure and forced Janey to tuck it and run. Tyler able to pick up about 5 on the play, down inside the 10 to the 9-yard line.
They've had issue containing Joe Wilcox, but overall the offensive line for HC's done a really good job, even in pass protection mode.
Coudray and Ford to the near side as Coudray tried to get Janey's attention before a Tiger was able to come over there and cover him up. And now we have a timeout called on the field. With 3 minutes, 35 seconds, it is a timeout by Fishers. Didn't like that look as we saw Will Coudray on the near side. He was trying to get Tyler Janey's attention. He was left uncovered before Josh Lloyd was able to rush out there and cover him up. But Fishers is going to call the timeout to get their defense set. They lead 27-3 with 3 minutes and 35 seconds left to go in this third quarter. Along with Caleb Yarling, I'm Brian Scott. Thanks for joining us for Southeastern football tonight on Audio Sports Online. This game pretty much swung on about a 60-second spurt at the end of the first half. It was 7-3 in favor of Fishers after Hamilton Southeastern finally had a nice drive put together by Carter Pori in the offense. They had to settle for a field goal, but Fishers answered right back. They get the touchdown, they get an interception, and they put it in again, all within a span of about a minute in the final minute of the first half. It allowed the Tigers to hit to the locker room with a 21-3 lead. Now they get a 41-yard Maurice Campbell touchdown run. Point after was no good, but the Tigers lead 27-3. Second down, about 5 yards to go. as the give is to Matteo. He tries to sneak underneath, as maybe a little bit of confusion in the backfield between Janey and Matteo. Aaron's able to pick up a couple of yards as he will take it to, let's say, just inside the 10 to about the 8-yard line, but it's going to bring up 3rd and 3.
HSC right now, if it's 3rd down, second time you've been in the red zone, don't settle for a field goal here. Try and get the touchdown. Obviously, as we see them doing a trip setup with twins on the left side.
It is Ford and Coudray to the near side. Now they'll bring Coudray in motion across the formation. Janey is under center. He will give it to Matteo, and Matteo on a fine defensive play. Ball is loose, but they're going to say that Matteo was down. I believe coming in to make the tackle, I believe, might have been Jeremy Chin, but it was hard to see from where we were. And Matteo is going to actually maybe even lose a yard or no gain. It's going to bring a 4th down, and down 27-3. Head coach Scott May, not even a decision to make here. They'll go for it. It'll bring Miller to the near side, Coudray to the far side. With Ford working slot left. Janey under center, Matteo the lone tailback. Tight end is to the right. Janey back to pass, fires, pass is complete, and this is all going to be about the spot. Pass is complete on that far side to Kyle Schrank. Fisher says he didn't get it. Hamilton Southeastern says he did get it. And the only one that means anything is the officials. They say he didn't get it. And Schrank is going to come up maybe a few inches shy of the 1st down. And Southeastern's going to turn it over on downs with 2 minutes and 4 seconds remaining in this 3rd quarter.
It would have been nice for you to get the touchdown there if you're Hamilton Southeastern, but you're only a few inches away from the 1st down. Can't beat yourself up too much about that, unfortunately. It's not like you were 4th and 25 or something like that. And the only good thing is here, let's see if they can replicate, if the Royal defense can replicate what the Fisher's Tigers did to them when Michael Kinder got that interception.
So the Tigers look like they'll have it 1st and 10, but this time this is the worst field position they've had at their own 6-yard line. Here's a give. Campbell comes to the near side, takes it up, and he will get a good about 10 yards on the play before he is rudely brought down, but a big run by Maurice Campbell. It'll move the chains, give the Tigers a little bit of breathing room as the nose of the football will hit just about right on the 16-yard line. It's a pickup of 10.
One thing if you're Fishers right now that you got to love is the fact that it doesn't matter where you're on the field, Maurice Campbell will get you yards, and really doesn't matter where they get field position, they always seem to get better.
Campbell, one of those running backs, looks like as the game goes, he is running harder and harder. He bounces it to the outside, makes one man miss. He'll pick up about 5 yards on the play before he is ridden out of bounds here on the near side by Brock Burns, the safety. And a pickup of, they'll give him about 6 yards up to the 23-yard line. That'll bring up 2nd down and 4. Clock will move with 1:15 left to go in this 3rd quarter. All Fishers, they lead Southeastern 27-3. Hamilton Southeastern turned away on what was really their 2nd best drive of the game. Their best drive just ended in a field goal. Here's Campbell. He will dodge up to about the 25-yard line, but he's going to be about a yard shy of the 1st down. That's going to bring up 3rd down and 1 for the Tigers.
Carter Prory right now in the HSC sideline is currently having some warm-up action right there. I'm not sure I'm pretty sure that means they're going back to Janey as the safety right now. They're going to get Carter in just to try and get some kind of offense out of him.
Well, they gave him a better spot than I thought they were going to, and now the officials giving it a hard look, and they decide to bring the chains in. It would be 3rd down and less than a foot if so, and they're going to bring the chains in from the far side. So thought they might have marked him down at about the 25, but they gave him closer to the 26. So they'll bring the chains out and measure for the 1st down. And as they stretch him out, they does have the 1st down.
And the crowd of Fishers is definitely, they've been excited all night. You can just listen to them. We really don't need the refs. We really can't look down the refs. As long as Fishers is cheering, that means that it's going their way. This game's really been everything offensively and defensively has really been going great for this Fishers Tigers squad.
So give the Tigers a first down. They'll spot the ball at the 26-yard line. 1st and 10 for Eaton and the Tigers. They have ridden the big back, Maurice Campbell, but Zach Eaton with some nice touchdown passes in this football game. About the time Southeastern gears up for the run, Eaton's been able to pop some nice throws, and they'll work out of the eye behind Zach Eaton with Mason Davis and Maurice Campbell. Here's Campbell. Campbell will look for a little room on the right side, but he will be stacked up. He'll pick up a yard, but that is all. It'll bring up 2nd and 9.
I think Fishers, he's been in the whole game, right, Maurice Campbell?
And he will not come out very often, that's for sure. And when you've got a guy that is basically running downhill, why should he? That's going to be the end of the 3rd quarter as the clock winds down. We will switch ends and head to the 4th and final quarter here at Hamilton Southeastern, with the 7th-ranked Tigers leading the 12th-ranked Royals by the score 27-3. You're watching Southeastern football on Audio Sports Online. Alongside Caleb Yarling, I'm Brian Scott. We thank you for joining us tonight here for Royals football. Wish we could give you a little better score to report, but unfortunately this is what it is. It is the Tigers with a 27-3 lead. Maurice Campbell, well, he's been a big part of this Tigers offense, but don't discount again, as I just mentioned, Zach Eaton throwing the ball. He had a couple of late touchdowns there to end the first half. That really got the freight train rolling for the Tigers. They put a touchdown on the board here in the second half. And for Hamilton Southeastern, well, they just haven't the same type of problems they had last week against Avon they're having this week. Just no consistency. They'll put a drive here and there together in which they can move the ball down the field, but only 3 points to show. A Brady Hoffman 24-yard field goal. That is all. And right now, the Tigers are moving the chains. They'll have a 2nd down and 9 from their own 27-yard line as we begin this 4th quarter of play.
Let's see here what HSC's got in its last quarter of play here against the hometown rival. Fishers is comfortably sitting in the driver's seat. We'll just see how long it takes for them until they decide to put it on cruise control.
Now, this drive started back at the Tigers' 6-yard line, and they've moved it out. Here's Eaton. Nice play-action fake, and he has Hernandez. And Hernandez looks like he will have enough for maybe another Tiger first down as they're starting to rely a little heavier on Jordan Hernandez. And it is indeed enough for a Tiger first down up to the 37-yard line. 1st and 10 Fishers on the first play of the 4th quarter with the Tigers up 27-3.
Looks like Janey has not come in as a safety yet for the Royals. Looks like Herman and White are still in there, so we'll see when that adjustment comes, if it does come again.
Up 27-3. Eaton will still work out of the gun on this 1st and 10. He has Campbell to his left, 2 wideouts to the near side. He will swing it out to the right side. Pass is complete and put out of bounds, I believe, is Noah Smith, Evan Long, and he will pick up maybe about 5-6 yards on the play. He'll take it up to the 43-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 4 for the Tigers.
Ben Uter currently is coming in for the HSC Royals. We'll see what kind of change it. They're obviously trying to change their defense. I think they're trying to. If I was HSC right now, I'd go for a more athletic approach, because that's really what they're doing, is just Fishers is just showing their athleticism right now.
2nd and 4 for the Tigers. This time Eaton will work under center with Campbell, the lone tailback. 2 wideouts to the near side. Here's Campbell with the ball, and he is not going to get very far on some nice pursuit, making the inside move, and it is, as Caleb mentioned, Ben Uter who comes in, made the penetration and just slid down the line to tackle Campbell for a gain of maybe only a yard. So good job by the 6'4", 255-pound junior to limit Campbell to a yard. It'll bring up a big 3rd down and about 3 for the Tigers. Southeastern needs to get Fishers off the field here. Eaton will work under center. 2 wideouts to the near side. Campbell, the lone tailback. Southeastern showing blitz. Here they come. The give is to Campbell, but he breaks through, and he's off to the races. To the 30, to the 25, to the 10, and a touchdown saving tackle made by Ryan Brown as they sold out the blitz trying to get to Campbell. Campbell broke through, and he races off for about a 50-yard gain. Only Ryan Brown's tackle by the shoestrings keeps him from hitting into the end zone, but it'll be 1st and goal from about the 3-yard line for the from the 6-yard line for the Tigers.
Wow, that just proves the point I was saying about earlier about it doesn't matter if he exudes confidence. Nothing really seems to fluster him. He can get a 1-yard gain, sure. And then he has a fantastic running play like that, which is that easily had to be 40, 50 yards, right?
It was about a 50-yard running play, and the Tigers did a good job of holding off Southeastern, who was coming, and we're going to have a timeout called as right now Southeastern really looking, as Caleb has mentioned, after that second touchdown by the Tigers early in that first half, after Southeastern had at least made it only a 4-point game. After that answer by Fishers, Southeastern, they've been a little slow. You could see the heads drawn down into their chest just a little bit, and after that second touchdown, it has really been all Fishers this game. And now a big back-breaking run by Maurice Campbell all the way down to the Southeastern 6-yard line will give the Tigers 1st and goal with 10:41 remaining in this football game, up already 27-3.
He's easily been the MVP of this game. Doesn't matter if you're on HSC or you're on Fishers. He's easily been the player of the game, in my opinion, of how nothing seems to fluster him. He just continues to play the game. Nothing flusters him. And
in this big rivalry game, Maurice Campbell is going to be up over 200 yards before this thing is all said and done. 1st and goal, offset eye to the left as Eaton goes under center. Play action pass. Eaton looks in the end zone wide open as they pull a beautiful play action pass, and getting into the end zone is Noah Rogers.
Looks like some of the HSC coaches are saying some of the stuff to their players on the sidelines right now, as they should. This is not good.
Noah Rogers is the recipient of a 6-yard touchdown pass from Zach Eaton, who pulled a beautiful play action fake to Campbell, and Rogers just slipped into the corner as the point after by Josh Lloyd is up. It is good. And with 10:35 left to go in this football game, well, it's all done but the shouting. Fishers up 34-3 over Hamilton Southeastern, as we will likely start seeing maybe Scott May start to use and start to see about piecing together a few different combinations now as he watches his team trail by 31.
I hate to say this because there is 10 minutes left, but maybe it started the time where you begin to get some of the underclassmen or people who don't start, kind of give them a shot, because right now the starting lineup on both sides of the ball has really not done its job. And I think if you're Scott May, you've got to start looking in-house. Maybe we could see another Carter Prairie performance from one of the people who's currently on the sidelines right now. Right now, if you're HSC, you should be willing to try anything to get ahead, maybe even score a touchdown here for these home fans who have seen just a measly field goal.
Well, the one great thing that Rick Wimmer has done with his offense tonight, you knew that coming into this game, Fishers, well, they were a run-the-football team. Maurice Campbell, 3 100-yard rushing games coming into this contest, but they have done a fantastic job that every time Southeastern has sold out to the run, here they've come with the pass. Chris Ford's going to get a nice return that's going to be negated with a penalty flag.
It's going to be a block in the back.
Back around the 20-yard line, an illegal block in the back, and head coach Scott May, all I can watch him do is kind of bring his hands out, and another penalty will push the Royals back deep and give them, once again, poor field position to start a drive.
Carter Prory is in for the HSE Royals at quarterback, so this should be interesting to see what they're going to do here. Not sure if this means they're trying to just go with the long ball, like he's been able to show, or they're just trying to get him in some reps in what seems like to be a game that's basically over, unfortunately.
1st and 10 for the Royals, but they'll start at their own 10-yard line, trailing 34-3 with 10:29 remaining in this football game. Prory with Matteo, low snap. And Prory is just going to have to pick it up and see what he can get on a poor shotgun snap. And he will pick up a couple of yards up to about the 13-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 7 for Southeastern. So Carter Prory, we saw him in the first half. He arguably engineered the Southeastern's best drive of the football game. It ended a 24-yard Hoffman field goal, but that is all. Here's Matteo. He'll look for some room around the right side, and he'll pick up a few yards up past the 15, close to the 17, but 2 runs, and right now Southeastern's looking at a 3rd down, and let's call it 2 yards to go.
The running game's been nice, but I thought you brought in Carter Prory to use his arm. Let's see here if they're going to take advantage of what seemed to be the best arm on the HSE squad so far.
Miller is to the near side. Coudray and Ford to the far side. Schrank in motion. Here's the give to Aaron Matteo. He eludes 1 tackle, but not any more than that. And he will be very close, however, to a 1st down. So let's see. Depends on the spot, and they will move the chain. So Matteo, on a bit of a nice second effort, is able to get the 1st down at the 20-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 Southeastern. Clock will move at 9:13 remaining in the 4th quarter.
Let's see here. If now they're going to try and attempt to pass here. Looks like they don't have any deep coverage. So let's see what HSE is going to do.
Prory drops back. He'll fire to Coudray at the 25, and Coudray will be pushed out of bounds over here on the near side. Josh Lloyd, the cornerback for the Tigers, able to push him and stop his forward progress as they will keep the clock moving. It's pick up of 4 yards up to the 25-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Pretty nice game, but boy, Will Coudray got clobbered on that play by Josh Lloyd. Great hit.
Once again, safety's up close for the Tigers as Prory gets the snap. He'll look. He'll fire near side. He'll have Coudray once again. And Coudray this time will get out of bounds to stop the clock. Beyond the 35-yard line, close to about the 36-yard line. But another nice gain by Will Coudray, who's starting to see a few more balls come his way. And he'll take it past the 35 up to the 37-yard line, 1st and 10 Southeastern.
That was a couple nice pass plays in a row here, but let's see him really throw his arm out there. Let's see if he can generate possibly even a Hail Mary pass in the trip situation. Everybody
up close for the Tigers, not expecting the Royals to go deep downfield. Again, they'll fire near side. Again, Will Coudray with the football. He'll take it inside Tiger territory to the 48-yard line before R.J. Potts takes him out of bounds at the 48-yard line. So right now, Carter Prory and Will Coudray just playing pitch and catch right now. And they've taken the ball from the 10-yard line of Southeastern to the Tiger 48, 1st and 10. Again, 3 wideouts with Coudray to the near side. Prory, he'll fire. He has Chris Ford all alone at the 41, and he will take it inside the 35 and down to about the 32-yard line. Nice pickup as Prory finds Chris Ford, and it's another nice gain for the Royals into Tiger territory at the 33.
Nice passing attack right now by HSE, which currently right now leaves their running game wide open. So let's see if they're going to give Matteo a chance to possibly run him outside the tackles here.
Clock moves with 8:16 left to go in the football game. Again, Fisher's comfortably out in front, 34-3, as Prory is moving the Southeastern offense. And he will be sacked as coming in from the middle linebacking position is Trent Nielsen, the 5'10", 198-pound junior. Pretty much left untouched. He comes right up the middle, and he sacks Carter Prory for a loss of about 5 on the play back to the 38-yard line.
All right, HSC, you're definitely doing a good job so far. I guess it's never too late to rally a comeback here, and they're definitely doing a nice job outside of that sack by Fishers.
Ford and Miller to the near side. Pori steps up, tries to run. He'll pick up a few yards, maybe back to the original line of scrimmage or just shy of it, as Fisher's pretty much working a nickel package right now, as he'll pick up 4 yards. It'll be 3rd and 11 from the 34-yard line. Fisher's keeping everything underneath, and for the most part, Pori on this drive has done a good job of taking what the Tigers will give him, but now it's going to be forced to bring it down the field a little bit on 3rd and 11, though this is 4-down territory for Southeastern. Pori gets the snap. He'll look. Comes to the right side. Will Coudray makes the catch at about the 35-yard line, and he is met and brought down immediately by Jeremy Chin. And it's going to bring up 4th and 2 for Southeastern.
Looks like they want to go for it.
Well, no reason not to. With 6:48 left to go, down by 31. And no, I didn't see the penalty flag, but there is a penalty flag. There's a penalty flag back at around the 40-yard line, and since they are marching it deep into Tiger territory, a personal foul is going to be called against Fishers. So for the Royals, it's one of the
third
only
time.
Good luck that they've really had in this game. It's a personal foul against Fishers, and the official is going to have to hold up everything because he's left his flag all the way back here at the 40. So they're going to hold up play for just a moment while he retrieves his penalty flag and gets back into position. But Southeastern now has the ball at the Tiger 12-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10. 6:46 clock moving here in the 4th.
That might be the fastest referee in the world right there.
Here's a keeper by Carter Pori on a little bit of a read option. Picks up about a yard or so, just shy of the 10-yard line. They'll mark it at the 11. It'll be a gain of 1. It'll be 2nd down and 9. This is an 11-play drive already. And it's eaten up over 4 minutes of clock, but it's been by far the best drive the Royals have had all night. Granted, they are down by 31. Pori will send Coudray in motion to the far side. Pori gives it to Matteo. Yes, it is Aaron Matteo. He picks up a couple of yards inside the 10 down to about the 8-yard line, but it's going to be 3rd down and 6 coming up for Southeastern. So 3rd and 6 for Southeastern. Will Coudray to the near side, Ford in the slot, Ford and Miller to the far side. Matteo to the left of Pori. And this one didn't get going as we had motion all over the place.
Looks like a Fishers player, an HSC player, got into it after the whistle. A little bit surprised it was not a roughing after I'm surprised they didn't call anything on that one. That was
the penalty is going to go against the Tigers, so they'll march off 5 yards on the offsides, and it will bring up 3rd down. And when all is said and done, the ball will be just inside the 5-yard line. So it's going to bring up 3rd down and about 2 for Southeastern on the 13th play of this drive. Offset eye to the right. Here's Matteo. Finds some room, and he'll take it in.
HSE fans giving something to cheer about so far. A touchdown here. 31-10 advantage Fishers right now. But, hey, touchdown's a touchdown, as I began to feel a little bit of rumbling under the stands right now. I guess if you're Coach May, you didn't have a good first, second, and third quarter. But I guess it's how you finish, right? With this HSE squad finishing strong, I know they're injury-riddled. Maybe this will be a good thing for their confidence going forward as Brady Hoffman currently lines up to take the kick, and the kick is bueno. Split the uprights on that one. Brady Hoffman, HSE. Now it's 10-34.
34-10. Tigers still have the lead. Aaron Matteo with a 4-yard touchdown run. That capped off a 14-play drive that covered 90 yards, and it took over 5 minutes of time off of the clock. But right now, as Caleb said, if you're Coach Scott May, you just wanted something positive here in this second half. Nice drive. Carter Pori getting his first extended action here tonight. Had some nice throws. Took what the defense gave him. He and Will Coudray kind of hit stride as they moved down the field. But a nice job by Carter Pori to pretty much take what the defense would give him. And then Aaron Matteo runs it in from 4 yards out. Makes it 34-10. Right now, Tigers looking for the onside kick, but we'll see if Southeastern just elects to kick this one away. They still trailed by 24, and they will do a short kick. It'll bounce, and it's picked up by Southeastern.
Are they going to call that a touch? They're going to call that he had possession.
Yeah, we're going to see what they... And it is...
It's HSA ball.
It is Hamilton Southeastern's ball.
Interesting thing to note here through their first 4 games, HSE has failed to score more than 10 points in 3 of their first 4 games, the one exception being that 38-point blowout they had against North Central. They scored 7 points against Carmel in the opening week, 10 points against, was it 10 points against Avon last week, I believe?
Only 10.
10 points this week, and so far they've only been able to muster 10, but hey, that's something right now that's going your way, and hopefully get their heads out of their hands right now, HSE, and offensive lineman blocked like there's no tomorrow, and Carter Pori throw a beautiful hammering pass to get HSE back in this game.
I believe David Herman came away with the recovery for Southeastern, 1st and 10 from the 36. Pori looking deep. He lets it go. He has Miller wide open, and it goes right through Greg Miller's fingertips. A beautifully thrown ball, and we've got Carter Pori talking to the official, or no, Aaron Matteo. But a beautifully thrown ball, and Carter Pori showing right there, he's got an arm. He threw that on a dime into the corner. The only player that could bring that ball down was going to be his wideout, Greg Miller, but Miller couldn't bring it in. It would have been a quick 6. Instead, it'll bring up 2nd and 10. Pori works out of the gun. Matteo to his right. 5:20 left to go in the football game. Pori flushed out, will come to the near side, looks, fires, and this time Miller brings it in, and he has the football down inside the 25, down to the 24, double clutched it a little bit, but managed to keep possession of it, and it's a pickup down to the 24-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 Southeastern.
Boy, that had the potential to be a really good play and a touchdown for HSE, but unfortunately, I guess that invisible 12th defender out there for the Tigers has been the secret MVP for them, right?
Pori takes the snap. Good protection. Now he's going to be flushed in the middle, stands in and picked off. Running it back the other way is Josh Lloyd, and Josh Lloyd is going to run it back 76 yards. There's penalty flags, however, back at around the 46, so this one may be coming back on an illegal block, and indeed, Fishers is saying, come on back.
Wow.
Pori was looking over to the near side. I believe he was once again looking for Greg Miller. Lloyd jumped the route. He saw it all the way. And
Stroll. Wow, that was, let me tell you something. If you're HSE right now, wow. That could have
penalties actually went against Southeastern, so
Chase.
It will be assessed on the kickoff. The interception returned by Josh Lloyd will stand. And it will be
another touchdown, unfortunately, for the well, I shouldn't say unfortunately. Fortunately, if you're a Tiger fan. Unfortunately, if you're HSC, as they get ready to kick here. HSC had that really nice play, which unfortunately, I'm not sure if it's just because it's the first cold day of the year or there's that invisible 12th defender, but the wide receivers have had issues catching the football tonight as the kick by Fishers is good.
Devontae Adams on to kick that one for the Tigers. He puts the point after through. With 4:48 left to go in this football game, it is once again a 31-point lead for the Tigers, 41-10 on the 76-yard interception return for a touchdown by Josh Lloyd. Should mention Lloyd also is the place kicker, so he probably needed a bit of a break, so they brought in Devontae Adams to kick that point through. But it is a 41-10 lead, and pretty much when you are staring a defense that is expecting the pass, a good job by Lloyd. He saw Pori. Pori needed to make a play downfield, and Lloyd read it all the way, jumped into the route, and he takes it back 76 yards, and it's a 41-10 lead for the Tigers with 4:48 remaining in this football game. Alongside Caleb Yarling, I'm Brian Scott.
Looks like some of the HSE fans, unfortunately, are beginning to head out early and get out from some of that traffic. Fishers is still, all their fans are still in the crowd from the looks of it, as they're getting ready to probably storm the field afterwards. This has been like a home game for Fishers. Their crowd's been louder than HSE. They've done really. Coach Wimmer, in his 32 years, has obviously knows a lot about football because he's done an incredible job against this HSE squad that's currently reeling. One win over 4 games. Not good for what has been over the last 5 or 6 years a very dominant HSE squad in the Hoosier Crossroads Conference. And we're seeing now that this alignment, unfortunately you don't have the two Lafayette teams that are considered, some of the easier teams on the schedule, and you have to play, top quality teams every night. And I guess this is really kind of exposing that they're going to miss those 2 games.
The penalty is going to allow the Tigers to kick off from the 50-yard line as Lloyd's back out there. He's going to likely try to hit it through he's going to kick it short, and it'll be taken at the 15-yard line. Coming to the near side to the 25, to the 30, and run out of bounds here to the near side, I believe, is Curtis Goss, who fielded that kick up to about the 35-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 Southeastern, but now once again trailing by 31 points with 4 minutes and 40 seconds remaining in this football game. And for Southeastern, Coach May, we said after the Avon game he was going to have a lot of things to go over this week, and after tonight's game I don't think he has any of his questions answered, other than he may start to look a little closer at his starting quarterback situation.
Looks like they are beginning to bring out the second unit here.
And Pori's pass is intercepted. I think he was looking for Will Coudray, but coming away with the football, I believe, was R.J. Potts. And back-to-back throws lead to back-to-back interceptions. And the turnovers once again mounting for Southeastern. Though they have to get the ball down the field, you're going to have to take your chances. And when you've got a defense pretty much just lined up in the nickel and the dime waiting for you, it makes things very, very difficult, especially for a quarterback really getting his first extended playing time of the season. The Tigers will have the football at their own 49-yard line with 4:36 left to go in this football game, up by 31. And I believe Brent Hayes now on to quarterback. He is the new quarterback as he hands it off, and
Colin Miller, I believe.
Is Colin Miller, is Jermaine Huddleston, I believe, took the handoff and was met rather rudely for about a 2-yard loss.
Unfortunately, HSE fans are beginning to fan out here.
Well, the Mudsock is going to go home with the Tigers on the bus ride tonight.
2nd year in a row, unfortunately, for this HSE team here, as they.
This will get this series a little closer. It was 7-4 in favor, as Hayes will keep the football, and he will be brought down as he is going to be sacked on the play. Coming in to make the tackle, I believe, was Andrew Bray, among others. It's a big loss back to the 40-yard line. That's going to bring up 3rd down and 19 for the Tigers. It'll make this series a little closer, 7-5 in favor of Southeastern, but as Caleb mentioned, back-to-back wins in consecutive years for the Tigers.
It's unfortunate because it really doesn't matter who HSC's put in there at quarterback. They seem to have turnover trouble, which should definitely be something they address here in the next practice as Fishers gets lined up.
Brent Hayes back to pass. He's got a 3rd and a mile. He drops back, fires over the head of his intended receiver on the far side. That was Cade Orris, and he'll bring up 4th down. And punting situation coming up for Fishers as they're able to take a little bit of time off the clock. 3 minutes, 8 seconds remain. This one well decided, 41-10 right now in favor of the Tigers. Carter Pori was able to drive Southeastern on an extended drive that ended in an Aaron Matteo 4-yard touchdown run. And after a successful onside kick recovery, Josh Lloyd intercepted Carter Pori and returned it 76 yards. Here's the punt. Taken back about the 19. Flag comes flying in.
Uh-oh. Looks like there's a route. Looks like 44, and one of the Fishers players were getting into it.
Again, a fierce rivalry, and now a late penalty flag flies after the play.
I believe it's going to be unsportsmanlike conduct on HSC, I believe.
We'll see what they do here, but penalty flag will fly. And again, this is probably the fiercest. Of course, a lot of the players here, as Kayla mentioned, they play ball together at a lot of the intramurals events and very, very familiar with one another. And high school pride comes in, and Fishers, I'm sure, barking a little bit, and Southeastern feeling the sting of back-to-back very disappointing losses last week. An Avon game that saw Southeastern trail only by 7 at the beginning of the 4th quarter, only to watch Avon run away with that 31-10. And here, the Royals felt good heading into the final moments of the first half. They trailed only 7-3, only to watch the Tigers score quick touchdowns within about a minute to head to the locker room, 21-3. The game stayed pretty even until, it wasn't until midway through the 3rd quarter that the Tigers were able to put another touchdown on the board, but things have kind of fallen apart here late. And it's now 41-10 in favor of Fishers. This penalty, unsportsmanlike conduct, as the officials come over to talk to head coach Scott May.
I will give the band of HSC. Typically, we don't really talk about bands when you're football commentators, but much like how the Titanic sank and the band kept playing, the HSC right now is currently getting squashed, and I got to give the band their due credit in trying to pump up this crowd and continue to pump away some great drum beats here. As looks like Coach May's done talking to the official here, and looks like there's about 3 of them in the middle, and looks like they're still discussing what to call.
I think they're trying to figure out where they're going to spot this football. Unsportsmanlike conduct against Fishers.
Against Fishers or against HSC?
Well, it's no telling. Right now, I think the officials are pretty much like everybody else. They're just wanting to get this game over with 2 minutes and 57 seconds left. As after all is said and done, it'll be 1st and 10 for the Royals at the 29-yard line. As I believe Carter Pori is in there. They are still talking it over. There's all sorts of confusion here.
If you're HSC right now, like I said, you got to get in your second unit, try and get them in some snaps, and tell their girlfriends or tell their buddies, hey, man, I was in the Mudsock game for varsity. So that's what you're playing for right now is the hand off the ball here.
Here's a give to the near side, and picking up about good 8 yards or so on the play, I believe, is Brent Goss. Or Curtis Goss, excuse me. Curtis Goss with the carry. He has enough for about 12, 13 yards up to about the 40-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 Southeastern as Carter Pori into the football game still for Southeastern. And right now it's Southeastern just running the ball and running time off the clock. It's Coach Scott May just trying to get a few reps in here. They'll run the football, and a loss on the play of about 3 or 4 yards. So as we mentioned, we're going to watch Southeastern fall on the season to 1-3. Fishers will improve to 3-1. Fishers will be 2-0 in the HCC as Pori, he has a man open at the 43 and barrels up to about the 49-yard line as
if you're HSC,
Will Michaelis with the catches. Caleb said starting to get a few of the second teamers in.
If you're HSC right now, you're kind of looking at the Westfield game, and hopefully they will come out there and win there. 1-3 is not a good start as flags are flying.
3rd and 1, and it's going to be a little more difficult as it's going to turn into 3rd and 6 on the illegal procedure. A minute 48 remains in this football game. Again, Fishers out in front comfortably 41-10. Fishers next week, they will be at home. They will take on the Brownsburg Bulldogs, where Southeastern will head out on the road to take on Westfield. But Southeastern will be 0-2 in the HCC and will have lost their 3rd consecutive game. Drop back, looking for Will Coudray, and the ball a little bit behind. Coudray is coming into making the play for the Fishers Tigers will be Colin Ringel.
Looks like they're bringing out the punt team right now for HSC, I guess.
Well, Coach May, they're going to bring out David Herman and punt this ball away because you know that Coach Wimmer is simply going to sit on it for the final minute 30 and end this football game. And again, if you are Hamilton Southeastern, you pretty much have got to find out and figure out where is your offense going to come from. Aaron Matteo, not the greatest games at tailback, as David Herman gets a beautiful punt off. And it's going to take, though, a Tiger roll into the end zone, and that ball will be forced to come out to the 20-yard line. For the Southeastern, you're pretty much going to have to decide what are you going to do on offense. You haven't been able to run the ball very effectively, and we'll see if Carter Pori, when they start next week against Westfield, who will be the starting quarterback. Carter Pori tonight, well, he's engineered some pretty nice drives. He's found some good rhythm, managed to deliver some balls on time and on target. In fact, he's probably had a couple of balls dropped. The 2 interceptions, I don't know if you can really hold it against him too much. They're forced to throw the ball. They're forced to throw it down the field. And I don't think Coach May and the Hamilton Southeastern coaching staff is going to hold those 2 interceptions against Carter Pori. 1st and 10, Mays is in. He's just going to turn the ball and hand it off, and running hard right up the middle for a pickup of 13 is Jermaine Huddleston, I believe, as he will pick up to about the 33-yard line. 1st and 10. They'll stop the chains briefly to stop the clock to move the chains, I should say. It's been a long night, especially for Southeastern fans, and the clock will now move with a minute 18 remaining. 1st and 10, Tigers. For Rick Wimmer and the Tigers, you really have to be impressed. They came out here, they ran the ball hard, but I think the one thing that Coach Wimmer and the Tigers are really going to come away with is how well Zach Eaton threw the football tonight. He hadn't had to throw a whole lot in the first 3 games of the season, and he hadn't put up a whole lot of yards the first 3 games of the season. But he's thrown a very nice ball tonight. He's been on target more often than not tonight, and that has got to scare especially somebody like Brownsburg coming up next week. The ability to not only have to worry about that Tiger running attack, but also the passing attack, as Brett Mays is just going to take a kneel down here, and that's going to do it as the final few seconds is going to wind down here at Hamilton Southeastern. They will not have to run another play, and that is going to do it. The Mudsock is going to go home on the team bus that belongs to the 7th-ranked Fishers Tigers. They're going to win this football game tonight by the score of 41-10 over the 12th-ranked Hamilton Southeastern Royals. And Caleb, it's pretty much going to be, I think, all hands on deck this week. And knowing head coach Scott May, he's probably going to start putting a few different pieces together trying to find some combination that'll work against Westfield next week.
The one thing I will say, this will definitely make for an interesting Scott May show coming up this week, that's for sure. So definitely give that a listen and get Scott May's opinions on everything football-related and HSC-related as they talk about their upcoming plan against Westfield and possibly some of the mistakes that they made this game. Boy, this is it's rough. You're going to have Fisher storming the field here in the next few minutes on your home turf. You lost 41 to 10, pardon me. And in a game that I really felt like HSC had no control over. Anything that was good, just like how Newton said, everything had an equal and opposite reaction. That's basically what happened. Whenever HSC would have a good play, they'd follow it up with an El Stinko play. Even though Carter Prory had that fantastic pass to Kyle Schrank down there, he had 2 interceptions in basically what was probably right around a quarter of action. So,
well, again, as I think the coaching staff's not going to hold that too much against the young man because he was faced in a situation where they have to get the ball down the field. You know the Tigers are going to be playing nickel and dime coverage all behind there.
Right.
He was really going to be put in a situation where you got to move the ball down the field, you got to do it quickly, and you got to make those throws. And, one of them, kid made a nice break on the ball to intercept it. The other one was a bad pass, and it ended up on a pick. But right now, I think Coach May is really going to have to decide who's going to be his starting quarterback next week and what type of offense are they going to run. They've tried to run the ball. They haven't had very good success the past 2 weeks. They tried to throw the ball last week against Avon, had really no success whatsoever. And really until Carter Pory came in, they had some success throwing the ball, but also by then, Fishers was up big. They were letting Hamilton Southeastern take what they would give them underneath. And Carter Pory did make the throws, did make some accurate throws, and they did move the ball. So we'll see what Hamilton Southeastern does next week against the Westfield Shamrocks. So once again, your final score here at Hamilton Southeastern. The Mudsock, it belongs to the Fishers Tigers. They knock off Hamilton Southeastern by the score of 41-10. Fishers improves their record to 3-1 on the season, 2-0 in the HCC, while Hamilton Southeastern falls to 1-3 on the season and 0-2 in the Hoosier Crossroads Conference. Alongside Caleb Yarling, I'm Brian Scott. Thanks for joining us for Hamilton Southeastern football tonight. Look forward to seeing you next week when the Royals will take on the Westfield Shamrocks at Westfield. Kickoff for that game is 7 o'clock, and you can listen to that game right here on Audio Sports Online. Until next time, so long, everybody.